Goodness gracious, women. What do I do with phone calls? Can I not do any? Okay, that's good.
Hey, can you go into your Comrex and write in the IP address?
Yeah, we could try. Hold on. We're still doing channel 4 though, right?
No, it's gonna be a different. It's gonna be a Zephyr.
Oh, it could be brand new. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna add, and let me see. We'll just call this. I'm just gonna call this new.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Actually, that's actually pretty good because I'm just going to put you on speaker.
Call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority tax relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. Priority tax relief. Calm down. Show is about to start. Someone think again. Turn it up. Turn it up loud. Dream come true. This is also a thing. Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's a Reese on the radio. Right on WTIC.
Oh, it's mayhem over here. I love it though. I never panic. The world is filled with ups and downs, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can expect today, it's one of those days. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. I've got so many things on the iron all over the place. So unfortunately, as it goes, Roland is going to have to shout in my ear to let me know when we have to go to a break and all that other stuff. And if you're wondering why we're late, we're just having some systems, problems, and that's just the way that it goes. But nonetheless, we are here. We got plenty of stuff to get into. And the news don't stop, and neither do we. Before you guys start making references to P. Diddy, I told you that we won't stop. You and I are no longer friends. Don't even say it. Anyway, it's Reese on the radio. We had an incident in Texas, in Dallas, and it is not being talked about by the people who should be saying something. They know who they are. They should be speaking up right now. They should be saying something outside of condolences and all that good stuff. They need to say something a lot more. I mean, just much more meaningful. But we're going to do what we do here. And we're going to hold them to account. And we are going to get results. Because that's what we do. Do you remember, it was not too long ago that I said, in California, when those children were being taken to safety from the marijuana plant, where they were pretty much slaves to that agricultural nightmare. As the ICE agents put those children and put them in the vans as they drove out, what did the rabble-rousers and the agitators and the protesters do? What did they do that I pointed out that no one else talked about? They threw stones, rocks, anything they could find, and they threw them at the windows of the vans as they exited the marijuana plant. They didn't care where those bricks went. They didn't care who they hit, be they the drivers, be they the people detaining those children, or the children themselves. They threw those stones indiscriminately at those vehicles as they sped off. They could have injured the driver, who could have lost control to where the vehicle would have turned over, flipped, and put the so-called immigrants that they're here to protect, the ones that they're supposed to be fighting for, put them in harm's way. What would have been their response if one of those officers were injured, lost control of the vehicle, and those children, any one of them, had died as a result? What would they have said? You should have never took them. You should have never grabbed them up. If you'd have left them alone, they'd be alive today, they tell us. And you know they would. You know damn well they would. So what say you now? What are you saying now? Nothing. Why? Because you can't say anything. Because here you go again. You were so desperate. Yeah, Chris Murphy, I'm looking at you. You were so desperate to get back to the rhetoric. Huh? Gestapo, Gestapo, Gestapo. Authoritarian. SS, secret police. Take your mask off. All of that rhetoric. You were so desperate to get back to it. Remember? Donald Trump was using Charlie Kirk's murder as a way to squash dissent, which you guys were so desperate to get back to. And you did. You got right back to it. Here's Gavin Newsom. What was it, just yesterday?
ICE, unmasked. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of?
I don't know, Gavin. What do you think they were afraid of? I think they were afraid of the pew-pew. Don't you? You were on Stephen Colbert, pretty much saying the same thing.
I mean, if some guy jumped out of an unmarked car in a van with a mask on, tried to grab me, I mean, by definition, you're going to push back. And so these are not just authoritarian tendencies. These are authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government.
Yeah, authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government. What makes this laughable is the next line he says about Stephen Miller.
You saw what Stephen Miller said last week. This should put chills up fine. Called the Democratic Party an extremist organization, basically a terrorist organization.
Oh, that didn't age well now, did it? That didn't age well at all, did it? Called the left a terrorist organization. Pew, pew. Anyone? Anyone? Of course they're running scared and silent. The person who fired on this van ended up killing a detainee. Indiscriminate violence. What say you now? Where are you, John Larson? I was just laughing at you the other day. What are you screaming about?
This is not Germany. That's the SS and the Gestapo. This is the United States of America. Unmask yourself.
Unmask yourself. Where are you now, John? Where you at, buddy? What was all that shouting about? That was just a couple of weeks ago. Where you at today? I don't hear you screaming to your folks, telling them, stop shooting at ICE agents. Shouldn't we hear that? Shouldn't we be hearing and screaming and hollering, stop committing violence against the right? Actually, you know what? Hold on. I've got a better thing for you to scream at your constituents and the people who follow you and the people who love the rhetoric. Here's a line. Stop making us look bad. Will you stop making us look bad? We just want to spew the rhetoric, but you can't actually act on it. Could you please? We can't win the midterms this way. Just don't do anything. We're just yelling over here. Why don't you just say that? We'd appreciate it. It would save lives. Don't you think? But we know you're not going to say anything. You're going to run and hide. You're all cowards. All of you are cowards. I'll tell you, man, from your constituents in the black community who don't confront criminals, who actually terrorize them, cowards. To you folks that when it's convenient, you can scream and holler and call everybody a Hitler, a Nazi, the SS, The Gestapo, you can say it all day, but when the violence starts screaming through the streets, you run and hide. I've got no statement. I've got nothing to say. Can you send us an email, please? I want to hear the yelling now. I don't want to hear the calm tones. Well, we really, really must consider some of the violence that's happening on both sides, and we really need to tone it down. Okay. What happens 5 days later? They're just the Gestapo. Everybody calm now? I'd like to get back to yelling. I'd like to get back to demonizing the right. Everybody okay? Have we forgotten about it? NBC News, are you guys moving on to another story? Yes, because I need to get back to yelling. My constituents demand it. Huh, John? What's going on? You should all speak up. Now, the people you are protecting, wish to protect, one of them has died. He will never get his due process because someone you agitated murdered him. You guys should be turning that murdered detainee into your own Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Shouldn't you? Can't we just say that he was a Dallas father who, through no fault of his own, was gunned down? Or you know what? Let's go one step further. You can always blame ICE for detaining him in the first place and say you have absolutely no culpability at all, that it was ICE's fault for grabbing him anyway, that the sniper's bullet is just the cost of doing business. You used the same excuse on Charlie Kirk, didn't you? Right? If Charlie Kirk hadn't said certain things wouldn't happen. Hey, Matthew Dowd, huh? You guys have nothing to say because, and again, I'll tell you this is the worst part. The folks who actually protect you and continue to rock with you and ride with you, they're the real casualties in all of this. Because the fact that they don't realize that should one of them actually, should one of you guys who ride with Chris Murphy and John Larson, should something happen to you based upon the rhetoric that they spew, they won't have a word for you at all. They won't even thank you for your sacrifice. Ain't that interesting? You see it here. You see it in their silence. It's just the way it goes. We'll take a break. More news, more views. I got plenty more sound bites. You can't wait to hear this supercut in a minute. So stand by. It's Reese on the Radio. It's going to be a little weird, but have fun. We'll be back. It's WTIC News Talk 1080. What's going on, Jason? Jason, we're working a different system today. You're just going to hear me raw and whatever audio.
Guarantee. If your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. That is not a sign. I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. I heard something. Experience the joy.
You heard me.
20 seconds. I'm talking about over the game.
Oh. Anyway, we're back, folks. It's Reese on the radio. Yeah, we're doing a little different. So, wait a minute. Hold on. That's weird.
Yo.
Hey. Hold on. Now we need to fix this now. Hold on. That was weird. Okay. Can you hear me? I think Roland can hear me now.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. You good?
Okay, then we're good to go. So I need to cut this thing off. Let me do that real quick. Okay, yeah, we're back, folks. My apologies for all of that. That was, we just had a little bit of a weird thing going on. And the system's back up and we're good to go. Anyway, as I was saying in the last break, we're not hearing anything right now. And we've checked a couple of places. They're hearing some echoing. I'm not sure exactly why that is. That could be for a host of different reasons. I'm not sure exactly why, but I'll work on it. We're not hearing anything from the folks like John Larson. We're not hearing anything from Chris Murphy, Dick Blumenthal. I'm looking online to see exactly where they might be on this, but for whatever reason, they're not. They're not off the hook. They need to respond today. And the reason why they need to respond is real simple, folks. And that is because of this. Don't tell me I did not actually set up this audio. I did set up this audio. I just forgot that I didn't put it up here. All right, isn't that typical? I'm having one of those days. There it is. This is the audio.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. This is not the 1930s.
Secret police who are masked.
Okay. I don't even know what that is. Oh, this is just one of those days, everybody. This is just one of those days. My apologies. We're going to figure it out in the next hour, I bet. I'm sorry. Back to the audio.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. This is not the 1930s.
Secret police who are masked, who are intimidating, who are scaring people. These Gestapo-like tactics.
This is Gestapo-like behavior.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets.
When you compare the old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland, it does look like a Gestapo operation.
You posted on social media that, quote, ICE is acting like a terrorist force.
ICE agents, they are coming and kidnapping and disappearing people on the streets of the United States.
But this terror campaign of having masked people rolling up in vans, but we also have to talk about the agents themselves that are carrying this out. If you have any decency, quit now. Because just doing what you were told has been the justification for some of the worst horrors and crimes against humanity.
Masked agents of the state in unmarked vehicles are terrorizing communities. They are disappearing people.
One has to assume they're hiding something or they're hiding misbehavior, because otherwise, why would they be wearing masks and denying their identities?
If everything is legitimate and proper, why are you wearing masks to hide your face?
Not look like America. We are going to require them to show their faces. If you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have anything to hide.
Yeah, you shouldn't have anything to hide. That's what it is. You shouldn't have anything to hide. The ICE agents, now it's always been different, right? Just like they did with Jimmy Kimmel. They didn't put it on the government, they put it on Trump. Trump was the foil. Trump was the agitator. Trump was the villain. Trump demanded they fire Jimmy Kimmel. It's different with ICE. They're attacking the men and women of that department. That's who they're going after, as Max Frost, Chris Murphy's vice president. The way that he says, if you was, you'd stop now. If you had any decency, you'd stop now. That's what Max Frost is telling them, calling them the secret police. What are you hiding for? What are you afraid of, ICE? Notice they're not drawing their ire directly at President Trump. That's the thing you need to focus on. And now they're being fired upon. They're demonizing them. When we come back from the break, remember what I said about guilt by association for us. The NRA, school choice, not wanting drag queens in our kindergarten classes. Remember, anything that we're opposed to meant something else. Being opposed to trans children in some way, suggesting that we don't want our kids mutilated. Oh, we're contributing to their suicide by just having an opinion. Demonization for any position that we have. Well, what say you now? And if it's guilt by association, I think we should live by the standards that you set. When we come back, I'll talk about all of them. From Lamont to Blumenthal. Oh, yeah, I've got a whole list of them. I got one list of actual representatives in their districts. From Looney to Duff to Anwar to Cabrera. I've got them all. Where are they now? Where are they? Silent. If you've seen something on their X feed or any social media, get it to me. Get it to me right now. We got to go to the news. Let's get there in the WTIC newsroom with John Larson. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and
John Silver, man.
Serving Connecticut.
Oh,
this is
damn it.
WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
3 o'clock, Hartford temperature 71 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We will have mainly cloudy skies. It's humid with a passing shower, mid-70s today. All the forecast details coming up. Anti-vaccine protesters back at the state capitol. Some heckled doctors and lawmakers during a press conference. At the hearing that followed, Public Health Commissioner Dr. Manisha Jutani addressed one of their claims, that Northeast states are forming their own centers for disease control by announcing a collaboration.
We work as a region and even with states across the country, and not just on the coasts, throughout the country. That is part of our role in public health. Our role is to try to protect as much of the public as possible. And we are doing that right now by working on guidance.
Jutani says the states are not forming a regional CDC. The new Northeast Public Health Collaborative, which includes Connecticut, says it is providing science-based guidance to ensure equitable access to vaccines and other services. 3 ICE detainees at an immigration facility in Dallas were shot today. This is the FBI's Joe Rothrock.
The FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence.
FBI Director Kash Patel posted photos of bullets with anti-ICE messages on them. The gunman died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Correspondent Scott McFarland with more on security concerns on these types of buildings with threats on the rise.
That's one of 9,000 or so federal offices and federal complexes in America. 9,000. There are thousands of Federal Protective Service officers. That there's only so much manpower to protect all of these places. The vulnerability of federal complexes, federal employees, including those involving immigration and customs enforcement, have been a profound and growing concern here in Washington that have today broken through.
Water main break in Waterbury forced school closures in the city today. The break was reported Tuesday evening. Mayor Paul Pernaruski says the main is over 100 years old and involved a 2-inch valve on the 30-inch high-pressure transmission main. Water was shut off in some parts so that it could drain out of about 10 miles of piping.
People should continue to boil water if they're in an area where their pressure dropped or they lost water during this until we've had a chance to re-energize the system and do the testing that's necessary. That should happen by tomorrow morning.
Mayor says they had to shut off the water at the treatment plant in neighboring Watertown, and there were disruptions during the repair process. Hartford police have made arrests in a human trafficking investigation. Details from WTIC's Morgan Cunningham.
7 people are under arrest and facing numerous charges in a human trafficking investigation that began earlier this year in Hartford. It was in May when police received reports of human trafficking that was going on in the capital city. The investigation turned up 3 female juveniles who were being exploited. They've since been safely returned to their families. Now 7 suspects are in custody. They're facing numerous charges, including assault, trafficking in persons, risk of injury to a minor, and kidnapping. Further details have not been unsealed in an arrest warrant. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
Ukraine President Zelensky spoke to the UN General Assembly today. He says Russia has kicked off a deadly arms race in addition to the war on his country, and he says it won't stop with Ukraine.
Ukraine is only the first, and now Russian drones are already flying across Europe, and Russian operations are already spreading across countries, and Putin wants to continue this war by expanding it.
Secretary of State Rubio met in New York today with the Russian foreign minister. And hundreds of federal workers who were canned by DOJ earlier this year now being asked to come back. Nancy Cordes explains why.
The GSA, which is the government agency that is responsible for managing all of the buildings that are used by the federal government, simply didn't have enough employees to do the job effectively. And so according to this internal memo, they're asking a whole bunch of workers to come back to work about 7 months after they were laid off.
WTIC News Time, 3:05, checking traffic down in New Haven, northbound side of the Wilbur Cross Parkway. We've got, looks like a crash, 2-vehicle crash there. The right lane closed at 46 and 50. We also have that closure again in Ansonia, State Route 727, Pershing Drive. That's closed between Bridge Street and Clifton Avenue. There was an earlier crash there. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Into the remainder of this afternoon, though not as warm as yesterday. Plenty of clouds, even a brief shower or two. Today's high not far from 75. Tonight, cloudy with rain on occasion, low 63. Then variable cloudiness and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Overall, the rain is beneficial, but any storm can produce gusty winds, high 73. Warm, humid weather tomorrow night. A couple of thunderstorms in the area early at night. Any storm can cause temporary flooding on roadways and poor drainage areas. Lingering shower late at night, low tomorrow night 67. A little less humid on Friday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine and turning warmer. Can't rely on a stray shower, high 80. Looks like a nice start to the weekend. Saturday, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 79. Becoming mostly cloudy on Sunday. Sunday's high 78 degrees. Looking ahead to Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 79. A little cooler on Tuesday, partly sunny, high 72. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Markets continue to trend lower today. The Dow's down 180 points. The NASDAQ is down 81. And the S&P's down 23. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
At Ayala Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S1041347, D104014665, S33086699, SN3004646, E1185643.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required.
1 minute.
Apply. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got NewGenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HUNK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of NewGenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of NewGenix, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text HUNK to 42424. That's HUNK to 42424.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, it's Reese on the radio. We're back, and it looks like we're good to go. We got a little bit of an echo. I'm trying to work on that. I apologize for it. Not sure why it is, but that just goes with that. But us just getting this stuff ready to go. I can hear it on my end. I'm sure people can hear it on theirs. We're working on it. We have to have a conversation today about the Newtown Allies for Change. I spoke to a parent today, and our guest today is going to be William DeRosa. We're going to talk to him at about 4:05, so in about an hour. We will talk to him about his encounter with the Newtown Allies for Change. And we're also going to give them a new name today because the story that I heard today from a parent in Newtown is, this is a domestic terrorist organization. I apologize. That may sound harsh, folks, but if you're down with this group, and if you know the story that I heard today as it relates to one of the parents, you will agree. We're going to have her on tomorrow. Her name is Wendy. She's going to call up. And when you find out what happened with this young mother in the middle of the street in front of witnesses, and how can it not be considered that? We'll get into it. And we'll talk to William DeRosa in a little bit. In about an hour, we'll talk to him about that, about what's going on there. Because this is crazy. There are people in Newtown who are saying there's nothing that can be done. And I can't help, as I'm listening to this woman, Wendy, talking to me about it, and then talking to our guest, who's coming on in an hour, William, I'm seeing, in a weird way, I'm seeing parallels of the Klan. It's crazy, but it is. Wait until you hear the stories. So we'll get into that. So stand by. It's going to be an incredible 2 days. Let's get to some headlines. In a little bit of good news, the Catholic prayer and meditation app known as Hallow is reporting that it is a 95% increase in downloads. Many have begun to refer to this as the Kirk effect, as people are now more and more turning to faith. And, even on a personal note, that's been the case with Roseanne, who is away for this week, and every day I talk to her, she is committing herself more and more to her faith. And it's interesting, right? Because, when I met her, she was a person from the left, a Black Lives Matter supporter who was an atheist, I guess the way that she looked at it. And now she's had so many changes in her, and I'm watching it, and now seeing other people as much doing the same thing has been incredible to watch. So it could be a positive change, and it's something that we could be hopeful for. Disgraced former FBI agent Peter Strzok has lost his long-running lawsuit claiming that he was illegally fired for sending messages attacking President Trump during his first term. Strzok had argued that he was only fired in 2018 because Trump reacted furiously to the text the agent exchanged while investigating ties between Russia and the Republicans in the 2016 campaign. But the U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson ruled Tuesday that Strzok failed to show it violated his First Amendment rights. NBC News did something unthinkable, especially as the backdrop for this shooting in Texas goes. You may have heard the story. NBC News reported this. ICE held a 5-year-old autistic girl in Massachusetts to pressure father to surrender, family says. NBC went with the story, and it turns out that when Edward Hip Mejia was pulled over by police, he is, by the way, a criminal illegal from Guatemala, he ignored law enforcement and their emergency lights on their vehicles and darted inside the house, abandoning his 5-year-old autistic daughter, leaving her in the car. Officers had to rescue the child, who, according to this report, may have been locked in the car. He abandoned his child. NBC was forced to retract the story, but they literally went on the words of the family members that said that ICE had held the autistic girl hostage. And it's this kind of rhetoric that leads to what we saw this morning in Dallas, Texas. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. That's the truth. That is the truth. And Larson and all the rest of you, you need to call this out when it happens. Now let's get to the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
If you're going out to a restaurant nowadays, it might be important for you to look at your bill at the end of your meal. I usually don't, and many of us don't. When we go out to eat, we understand it's going to be expensive. Unless you're on a budget and you have to count every penny, I get it. But most people, if you're going out to a restaurant, you don't really look at the bill. You just see the bill, you pay it. And for those of you who get to do it, hey, more power to you. Those of you who don't, keep doing what you're doing. Look at the check. This story is wild. A frustrated restaurant customer was surprised after seeing a strange item on his bill. Sharing his story on Reddit, the man says that he asked the server what something called the quiet time surcharge was on his bill. The server sheepishly told the man that it was an extra 20% added onto his bill pre-tip because the restaurant was relatively empty. And essentially having the restaurant to himself is basically like flying private instead of commercial. End quote. This is the actual statement from the server saying that, hey, the restaurant's pretty empty, and because you were here in the quiet, we gave you what's called a quiet time surcharge. And she described it as flying private as opposed to flying commercial. Other stories are now coming forward about certain surcharges that people are finding. One man in Spain was charged $3 for a glass of ice, and another man was charged on his bill something that was called a living wage fee. On his bill. Do you check your bill? Like, are you like me, Roland? Do you give the bill to your wife so she can put the gratuity on it, or do you sign it? Because I do that. I always give it to Roseanne.
Nah, I always pay with cash.
Really? You don't do the card?
Anytime I'm going out to, like, if we doing a family thing, I always just go get cash.
Interesting. So wait a minute, you pull out the cash. I'm assuming you don't pay, like you pull it from your bank.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you don't have to pay any fees.
Yeah, I go to ATM, get cash.
Okay, because I was going to say, if you do it at the actual restaurant, it's costing you more money because you got to pay a fee.
No.
Okay, so you'll stop at the bank, like whatever your bank is, and then go get the cash.
Yeah, because I don't know if we're eating out, if we're doing this, or we're going to need to pay for parking, and a lot of places, Like we just went to the Big E. No one accepted card for parking. So
Really?
So if I didn't have cash on me, and then there was food there that we wanted to eat, and they were like, oh, we certain venues now didn't accept card. They only accept cash. For
that's
reason.
crazy because
this is a new thing this year with the Big E. It wasn't like that
in
in years past. So I don't know what transpired between the credit card companies and those.
It may be the
businesses.
fees. It may be the credit
fees
card
went up
fees.
too high.
Yeah.
So they don't want to pay those. So just imagine if I didn't go and get cash.
Yeah,
like I normally do, we wouldn't have been able to try food or park or any of that kind of stuff. So
I remember going to watch the Nationals play, and I went to Nationals Park, and the boy and I had to walk really, really far just to get a cup of coffee because, I don't drink, and they've got beer everywhere, but I needed to get coffee. They only have one coffee stand. We get all the way down there. The coffee is $7 a pop, and I don't know why, but I had cash, so I was like, forget it. I'll just give the guy $20. He looked at me and was like, nah. It was a little cart. Like, it wasn't an actual stand like in the regular concessions. It was like a little wagon, so to speak. And he was like, no, we don't take cash here. I was like, does anybody take cash? I'm like, not in here. So everywhere I go, I always have to make sure that I have my card or I have my, my phone, in which I stopped carrying cash because it seemed like no one was carrying cash. So that's an odd story.
Yeah, I carry and it's not like I carry enough cash to get robbed for, I'm not crazy.
Trump said something interesting about carrying cash. He was talking to Peter Doocy on his Sunday show, and he asked Donald Trump how much money he carries around in cash. And Trump said something interesting that actually kind of inspired me. I thought it was smart. He said, I got about $200 cash in my wallet right now. And I went, the president of the United States never has to pay for a thing, but he keeps $200 even in his pocket even now.
You never know. You just never know.
Yeah, I guess
you're
so.
Need $100 to tip somebody. That's probably why he has.
Yeah,
it.
that's probably you're probably right. That's probably exactly why he does it. Yeah, I found that interesting. So so you actually paid a bill, but do you scour the bill like this guy clearly did, and seen it, or do you just pay whatever the thing is?
No, because I know when I'm going out with the family, I
it's
know
going to cost.
It's going to, and it's not, but it's not going to be like crazy. I know it's not going to be outrageous. So
right.
I'm not when I take the wife on a date that she requires.
Right.
Then I know it's gonna be a pretty penny.
Take her on a date like she requires. It's not an oil change. Jeez. Who would describe it as she requires?
Well, that's one of her. You sit down, you talk about things you want in a relationship.
Yes, I know.
That was one of the things that she.
The phrasing was interesting. That's all I'm saying. I understand exactly what you meant. The phraseology was just the thing. I was like, okay. Anyway, but yeah, I just found that odd. Just like, would you have questioned it if you saw that surcharge for dining by yourself? Would you have disputed it or just paid it?
It depends on the day. Oh no, honestly,
if it's $100 bill, it's 20%. So we're talking $120 pre-tax. Would you have paid it or would you disputed it?
It honestly depends on the service.
Okay.
I've paid above and beyond crazy tips. If they catered to me really good, and everything, and the food was amazing, and they were all nice about everything, then yeah, I would have just paid it.
You just paid it, right?
But if not, then yeah, I would have disputed it.
Trust me, I've been there before. Totally get that. Okay, thank you, man. I like I said, I never look at the bill. When they put it there, they'll put it in front of me. I will sign it. Like I'll put my signature before my wife does the tip. And the reason why, and I know it's going to sound so lazy. It is. I know it is. But I don't want to. I hate having to figure out what to tip a person. And this is the reason why, is because I got guff for it before. I have a tendency to tip too much. I've tipped $10 on a $5 bill. Like, go in, have a beer, and whatever, it'd be like $7, and I would leave 17. Like that kind of stuff I've done. So because of that, I just give the thing to my wife, and she will, because I think women in that regard are far more practical and thoughtful. Also, if our server is a female or a kid, I don't think, it's going to sound so bad. Okay, I had a bad experience at Hooters. Can I I have to reveal this. We'll get to some news. I promise you. We'll get to the good stuff in a minute. We'll get to your phone calls. I have to share this. And I don't know why. I'm hesitant, but I'm going, Reese, you tell everything, so tell the other. So I was at a Hooters. And it wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to happen. But I was so annoyed. And it happened. So Hooters, by the way, God love them. God love Hooters. I know that they're kind of in the Chapter 11 thing. And it's sad to see you go because, again, as an establishment, you've been here for a long time. But this experience really bothered me. So I'm at the restaurant at Hooters, and I'm there with, I can't remember exactly who it does, but anyway, we were there. But the two things that drove me nuts was that the young lady who was there was clearly too attractive to be flirting with me, which I didn't understand that dynamic, that the girls are kind of not suggestive, but just flirty. And I understand the reasoning now that, of course, it's about tips. The nicer you are to the person, the little hint, hint, the nod, nod, and the winks, usually the guy feels like he's got a shot, okay? I wasn't feeling it. For me, it was, can I just get good service? I don't need the other stuff. But what topped it off at the end of it, Roland, what really...
You're at Hooters, dog. I can't believe you acting like that.
I know. I didn't care. I get that the girls are cute, but we were there because somebody else wanted to go because they liked the chicken or whatever it was. I just wasn't feeling it. I just like good service. And I didn't care. Yes, they're attractive. I get it. But I wasn't really interested. Right? It's like...
You got to know your surroundings, too.
Yes, and I did. Trust me when I tell you I was having a good time because the people I was there was having a good time with. And this girl was just a little over the top. It was just a little too much. And I was paying, and I thought it was just a little strong. And I was a little put off because I'm just like, don't like that approach. Anyway, at the end, she gives me the check. And at the bottom of the check, she put her name and XOXOXO, which a waitress should never do. I don't care what the establishment is. They should never do it. It just, for me, it's like, it's unprofessional, okay? It just is. We're not at a strip club.
I see that all the time, though.
You do?
They put a heart,
you do? Okay.
They put a heart on it. They put different, depending on the server, they have their own little, tag signature.
And I feel bad because when I asked her about it, I was like, I'm sorry, ma'am, what's this? And she was like, oh, I was just putting a little, XOXO with a little heart on it. I'm just like, ma'am, you were fantastic. I promise you I'm going to give you a great tip. And it was just, for me, it was just putting it on too thick. And, or there was another part about it. It was just like, maybe it was me. I was feeling like, I don't really need to be flattered in this way, right? Just serve the meal and we'll be fine. I don't need...
You're at Hooters.
I know. I didn't know. I didn't understand that.
I just served a meal.
I don't know. It was more than service with a smile, and it bothered me. It just did. And I left her a great tip afterwards, but I felt icky. And it just felt like, does a girl really have to do that in order to... and then ever since then, I was just like, okay, I don't ever want to be in this situation again. So one, I always go to a restaurant with my wife or my significant other. I never go by myself. I just can't. And if I do, I'll go to a lunch cart before I go to sit down in a restaurant anymore. I just won't do it. But if of course, my significant other is there, that's one, because that's always a great buffer. No one's going to ever do anything like that with your wife there. So that's always perfect. And then I just leave it to my wife because my wife is going to give her a reasonable tip and I don't have to deal with it. So I know it's lazy, and I know it's a little uncomfortable, but that's the way I am. I just don't. How the girl.
Or you can order food to go. That's what I do at the restaurants if I'm not going out with my family or my wife.
Yes.
I will order from that same restaurant to go, and then I just take it in my car and eat it.
There you go.
Set up a show in my car, and I eat it in my car.
For me, it was a level of ick that was just like, it just seemed uncomfortable.
Well, stop going to Hooters, man.
I haven't gone back. Sadly enough, I haven't gone back. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. I'm sorry, we'll get to the good stuff when we return because William DeRosa is going to be joining us on the program. We'll talk about this Newtown Allies for Change and what's going on with them. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut, from breaking need-to-know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you. People who value speaking to the right people at the right time. That's why we answer the phone ourselves, to understand you and help you invest for the life you want, because you've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a human connection. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hennion & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
The dog days of summer are fading quickly. Hurry to get this limited-time preseason offer. Call ALO Home Services today and take advantage of their $99 heating system check special. Prevent costly and inconvenient breakdowns backed by a worry-free, no-breakdown guarantee. Call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO.
So apparently, bots is trying to overtake our systems, several systems around the country.
S1
Who is?
041-3487.
Hackers.
040-1465.
Really?
S3 308.
Yeah. So I just got a message saying that there's hackers trying to
orchestra
break into several radio stations around the country
symphony season with a musical adventure that
using bots.
And orchestral storytelling. Join us for Dukas' enchanting Sorcerer's Apprentice, made famous by Fantasia, Bartok's thrilling suite from the Miraculous Mandarin, Gershwin's An American in Paris. Plus, enjoy Wynton Marsalis's jazz-infused concerto for tubist and orchestra with HSO Principal Tuba Jared Briley. Reserve your seats today. Call 860-987-5900 or visit hartfordsymphony.org.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
It's 3:30, Hartford temperature 71 degrees. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The WTIC Weather Center sees mostly cloudy skies for the balance of the afternoon. Don't rule out the possibility of a shower. We'll have the forecast details coming up. Most, if not all, residents in Waterbury should have their water service restored.
Be right back.
Years old was the primary culprit. 2 are dead, another wounded following a shooting at an immigration detention facility in Dallas today. The gunman, who police say fired from a nearby rooftop, took their own life. FBI Director Kash Patel posted photos of bullets containing anti-ICE messages. 7 people in Hartford have been arrested. They're charged with human trafficking. Police say 3 girls were rescued. That investigation began last May. Anti-vaxxers turned out at the Capitol in Hartford today. They shouted down lawmakers ahead of a forum on vaccine access in light of what's happening at the federal level. Ukraine President Zelensky telling world leaders that the world is in the most destructive arms race in human history. He called on the international community to act against Russia now, asserting that Putin wants to expand his war in Europe. And Cleveland Guardians DH David Fry sustained a broken nose and facial fractures after he was hit in the face by a pitch from Detroit's Tarek Skubal in the 6th inning of Cleveland's 5-2 win over the Tigers Tuesday night. Victory moved the Guardians into a tie for first in the AL Central. Fry squared around a bunt, a 99-mile-an-hour Skubal fastball, and the pitch struck him in the nose and mouth area. He was carted off the field. WTIC News time is 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Mostly cloudy and humid the rest of this afternoon. The passing shower, high near 75. Tonight cloudy, some rain on occasion, low 63. Variable cloudiness and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Overall, the rain is beneficial, but any storm can produce gusty winds. High 73. Warmer weather on Friday, a mix of clouds and sun. Can't rule out a shower. High 80. Pleasant Saturday, a mix of clouds and sun. High 79. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Half hour before the close, the Dow is down 152 points. The NASDAQ's down 90. S&P is off 22. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Don't let ugly algae streaks bring down your curb appeal. Choose the roof that keeps its color, its strength, and its beauty. Atlas Roofing with Scotchgard Protector, because the only thing your neighbors should notice is how great your roof looks. Please visit peterlbrown.com.
This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Kurt.
You're supposed to be on fire as a person. You're supposed to want to get things done. I started having anxiety out of the blue, low libido, brain fog, not feeling driven. Literally had to push myself every day to get up and get things done. I was driving and I heard Northeast Men's Health on the radio, and the first consult seemed reasonable. So I decided to give it a call and made an appointment. They found out I had low T, and after that, it was like a light switch got turned on. I've been a patient at Northeast Men's Health for about 9 months now. Everything's gotten a lot better in my life. Energy, feeling, just work, a whole lot better. Even my kids notice. They're like, Daddy's got energy, Daddy's ready to go. If you don't feel like that, I would suggest calling Northeast Men's Health.
Thanks, Kurt. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call today, 800-930-5956, or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with cherry berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. And they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief. You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was.
I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's our birthday. WTIC has been on the air for 100 years, and we don't look a day over 98.
Damn right you don't. It's Reese on the Radio, WTIC News Talk 1080. I want to go through this list with you, and then I'll go to the phones, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. I need to go over this list as we talk about what happened in Texas, in Dallas, this morning. And the people who are on this list have to say something. And not because they're Democrats. It's because of what they've said. And I took this list and I'm only going after the ones who had the most serious of statements to make about ICE. Here are a few. Senator Dick Blumenthal. He said that ICE enforcement tactics were, quote, abusive tactics that are more characteristic of a police state and a totalitarian regime than of a democracy. My good friend, Senator Chris Murphy, criticized ICE for mass vigilantism. He said, cover for illegality and brutality. He accused the agency of crimes through reckless overspending and illegal fund transfers. He called the facilities inhumane. As I mentioned, John Larson compared ICE to the Gestapo and the secret police. He also urged passage of the No Secret Police Act, which is what he is calling ICE agents. Inflammatory on purpose, calling ICE agents the secret police of Nazi Germany. Representative Jim Himes said that the ICE raids were a disgusting attack against immigrants by masked ICE agents targeting schools and churches. A lie. Governor Ned Lamont criticized ICE courthouse arrest as an undermining of public safety. His Lieutenant Governor Susan Bicewicz said that she called on ICE to stop aiding and abetting extremist groups. Go figure. And nothing would be complete without our little Lilliputious antagonizer and inflammatory comment maker, Attorney General William Tong, denounced DHS as targeting Rep. Larson and immigration advocates for speaking out against ICE's abusive tactics. The Lilliputious one vowed to defend the constitutional rights and hold the Trump administration accountable for attacks on free speech. That's the rhetoric that is being spewed by these individuals. Out of those folks, one of the people who had I would say the tamest of comments was Johanna Hayes, who simply expressed opposition to heavy-handed ICE enforcement, highlighting fears of overreach in community raids and detentions. You know what, Johanna, I'm going to applaud you. But you should speak up. You should say something about it. Let's go to Dave in Bristol. How are you, Dave?
Hey, Reese, I'm good, man. it's hard to stay on hold and stay on topic.
That's okay. No, stick with what you got. What you got for me?
Well, the thing with the cash at like venues.
Oh, yeah. Somebody was actually texting me about that at the Big E. Someone said that there is a 1% service charged for using cards. So that may be why Roland was experiencing cash only.
Yeah, and I believe, I may be wrong, but I think Trump said that like cash has to be accepted everywhere. I think he made an order on that.
Okay, I'll double check that. You know what I found interesting? I don't know if you've experienced this. I remember when I was living in Queens. This was roughly about 2011. And I went to a bodega, whatever the case was, and this was before everybody was using a card. Because we didn't see that until roughly about 2015, 2016. So it's 2011. I was using my debit card, I was always reluctant to even buy one. I don't think I got a debit card until roughly about 2005. I finally get one, and I go to a grocery store, and I go to use my debit card. I can't remember what I was buying, but whatever it was probably about $6 that I was paying. And the guy had a sign on the ATM machine that says no purchases under $10 for an ATM card. And I went, and then I found out that in New York, they had passed a law that said that was illegal, because it is. It's illegal. You can't tell people how much money they need to spend. And I went, in my head, I'm saying to myself, imagine a mother who was, again, strapped for cash, strapped for money overall, went in there with her debit card only to buy a gallon of milk for her baby. Would she be forced to step outside of her budget in order to use her debit card?
No.
Yeah, so I found that incredibly odd that he would actually put that there. And I said, I think I'm going to send this to the Better Business Bureau because I don't think they're allowed to do this.
Well, I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's illegal. What it says on your dollar bill is for all bets, public and private.
Yeah. Yeah, but there were so many people who were doing it.
Anymore?
Yeah, apparently not. But again, this is, Lori's just saying it. She goes, yeah, there used to be a minimum years ago, and people were getting away with it. I think what the problem was more so my scenario than people just complaining. Because if you are on a fixed budget, imagine your grandmother's on a fixed budget and she's using her debit card. Imagine what she would have to, it was like, I have to buy $10 worth of stuff. I only have money for this.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's insane.
Hey, I got one more quick comment.
Yes, sir.
I just find it amazing how the Democrats don't want anybody to wear a mask anymore.
It's a good point. Did you hear that there's a resolution? Did you hear Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner are trying to get the government to return to mask mandates again?
Yes,
I
did hear that.
Did you see that story? I woke up this morning to that. I went, no, they're not. I'm just like,
yes. Unbelievable.
I know. And I'm like, just at the point where I was getting happy for Ben Affleck getting back together with Jennifer Garner, because I always thought they were a cute couple. He goes and ruins it. And I was like, at this point, I'm saying to myself, Ben, you're putting me on Team J-Lo, and I hate that woman.
Well, I used to like Ben Affleck as an actor. He was always good, but
I do. It's funny.
Guys, like,
he's become less campy in his older age, but this isn't helping him, just on a PR level.
These people, they live in a bubble where they don't understand the rest of the universe.
Yeah, exactly. That's 100% right, Dave. Thank you, boss man. I appreciate you. Yeah, you're spot on with that. They do not know. Oh, I wish they just wouldn't do it. Just not inject themselves in. You are a Hollywood celebrity. You walk around with security. You drive nice cars. You live in exclusive neighborhoods. You do live in a bubble. Don't come outside, peek your head out and go, hey, I'd like to inject my opinion on public policy. Yes, a rule I'd like to make for the rest of the ne'er-do-wells. Yes, please send the cameras over here. Hello. Hello, peasants. Yes, it is I, Ben Affleck. Yes, I was talking to my children the other day, because they go to private schools and have private tutors. They said to me, Father, I said, yes, child, I think everyone should go back to wearing masks. Can you make it so? Yes, my child. I will immediately grab my publicist, grab the media, and tell everyone that because of my daughter's request, everyone must put on a mask today. We shall go to Washington. Somebody in the chat room just told me that their daughter spoke at the UN. Go figure. I'm probably not far off for what happened. Come, child, we shall speak to the world. Greta Thunberg will have nothing on you. You thought Greta Thunberg was important? We will make you far more important than anyone. We will make the world bend at your will.
How dare you?
Hey, Wendy, how are you? Welcome to the show. Anyway, when we come back, we got to talk to William DeRosa. He took on the folks over at the Newtown Allies for Change. We'll talk about his experience. We'll talk about what's going on there, folks. You don't want to miss this. We're going to do a two-part. We may even do a three-part. I got another family, another member of the Newtown community contacting me who wants to talk about what's going on with the school board there and this crazy, insane story that's just apparently just been happening. And we're caught, folks, I'm telling you, there's violence going on in Newtown. People are being accosted, physically attacked in the street. And it's insane. The conversation I had today will blow your mind when we talk to Wendy tomorrow. It's some of the most insane stuff I've ever heard of. And people are sitting around trembling, quietly allowing this to happen. It's unheard of. I guess we're going to have to, what are we going to do? NAACP, Black Lives Matter 860. Now, apparently we have a new interest. All right, we'll talk about it. We'll be back. More news, more views. Stand by for that. And we'll return. It's Reese On The Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
If you have any sort of joint pain, you got to listen up. Whether it's from years of hard work or an old injury that never healed right, whatever it is, you can have it stop right now. I'm Brian Shackman here talking about QC Kinetics. You can flip the script. It's regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. They don't cover it up. They don't cut it out. They're actually helping heal and restore. The results are long-lasting relief, and it's amazing. It's so busy here in Connecticut, they opened up a third office. So instead of planning your day around pain, plan it around life, whether it's walking, hiking, playing with your kids, whatever. QC Kinetics can do without surgery, without drugs. Okay, give them a call. That first consultation is totally free. So bring your MRI, your x-rays, and find out if it's something for you. 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They're located in Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. So give them a call. Chances are it's close to you. That free consultation, 860-440-PAIN.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-220-4067 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive...
Mikey, go to my Facebook page. That's where you can find it. I will post it again.
800-220-4067. That's 800-220-4067. What do you have to lose? Call 800-220-4067. Again, 800-220-4067.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Reese on the Radio. We got a whole bunch of stuff going in. I got to talk about a little bit about the Jimmy Kimmel thing last night. I didn't watch it. I saw some clips online. I didn't really care. But I do have some commentary about it I want to get into. And plus, a CNN Harry Enton thing I thought was interesting this morning that aired on CNN. And we'll talk about that a little bit. When we come back, we've got William DeRosa of Newtown. He's actually in California, so he's calling in all the way from California. But we're going to talk about his experience with the Newtown Allies for Change. Wendy, if you're in the chat room, Wendy R., if you're the same young lady I spoke to a little while ago, one, make sure you friend the show or friend the account. Make sure you're there. Second, if that is you, somebody confused you with a white woman? This is rather funny. I'm just saying. And yeah, just make sure you friend the show. I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. If that's you, Wendy R., I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. So stand by for William DeRosa. We'll talk about that. I'll just talk to him about it, and then we'll get it. I'll give you my commentary after we have the conversation. Let me take Thomas in Newtown. How are you, sir? Thomas, you there?
Yes, sorry. Had you on mute for a second.
No, that's okay. What's going on, sir?
Not much. Recently became aware of everything going on regarding the school district.
Okay, and you're talking about with regards to Danielle Slaughter-Lozer.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So I joined the. I joined the Newtown Neighbors page.
Okay.
And I saw all the commentary that Miss Lozer had been making, and it rubbed me wrong because I have children that are going to be going into the Newtown school system.
Oh, so they're relatively younger kids, like first grade, kindergarten kind of age?
About to go into preschool.
Oh, wow. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay.
So after reading a lot of the comments,
you've had some.
I sat down with my wife. We talked it out, and we decided that we wouldn't be putting them in public school, and instead we were going to be putting them inside the private Catholic school system.
Wow.
After seeing the comments and reading over the Newtown School District policy regarding social media use,
yeah,
both in and out of out of hours,
yeah,
it's in direct violation. I sent an email to Superintendent Uberti. The email that I received back was lengthy, but it basically, in a summary,
did it say it said their hands were tied?
We're aware of the issue. She has a First Amendment right, and we can't talk about personal matters. Then I responded back with copies of the messages that Ms. Lozer had publicly posted. some are borderline insightful. One actually can be read as going physically hands-on. I mean, like
Wow.
inciting people to go physically hands-on with children.
What?
So
Okay, hold on, Thomas. Listen, I got to go to a break because we got to go to our first traffic and weather break. So stand by for me. Listen, I have your telephone number here. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to contact you. I'm going to send you a text during the commercial break that gives you my office number. And you and I are going to have a conversation after the show. Is that okay?
That's great.
Thank you. All right, stand by. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I promise you, we're not going to let this one slide. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you. Folks, let's get our first check of weather and traffic with Bob Larson, who's back, and Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark, how are you, sir?
Actually, it's Tom O'Hanlon.
Oh, it's Tommy. Tommy O'Hanlon is back. Hey, Tom. Eventually.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. On 84, it is busy if you're going westbound, working way over past Main Street and over into Hartford. A lot of traffic, especially exits 54 to 45. Founders Bridge is feeling the heat too, with some traffic going westbound. At 84 eastbound, slowing down through West Hartford. 2 is pretty heavy up into 84 now. 3 is moving. And looking at Windsor, 91 southbound, a note there. Also exit 34 to 32. It's just traffic volume. 291 is pretty good. And 91 southbound okay down to New Haven, but we have Wilbur Cross 15 northbound, slowing down from exit 42B to 50. That's because of a crash between exits 46 and 50. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. NC11-1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
WTIC weather.
Considerable cloudiness and humid the remainder of today with a shower or two in the area, high near 75. Some rain at times tonight, low 63. Tomorrow, clouds, only limited sun. Humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Any storm can produce gusty winds, high 73. A mixture of clouds and sunshine on Friday and turning warmer. Can't rely on a shower, high about 80. Saturday looks nice, a mixture of clouds and sunshine with an afternoon high of 79. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock, Hartford temperature 68 degrees. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. What a mess in Waterbury today. A water main break forced schools to close for the day. Crews spent the day trying to cap the break in the main. It caused service disruptions and low water pressure in parts of the city, particularly in areas of higher elevation. Mayor Paul Pernaruski says the aging infrastructure was the primary culprits.
Our system is over 100 years old. Some of the pipes and the valves are 130 years old, and so they have deteriorated. And the problem we're having is that the valves that we tried to shut off won't work. They won't shut the water off. It continues to run. So the only way to get water out of the system was to shut it off at the Watertown treatment plant.
Yeah, they had to drain water from about 10 miles of pipe before they could make repairs. The mayor says they are in the process of replacing the piping. A family of one of the 67 people killed when a jet collided with a military helicopter over Washington, D.C. is suing. The government and American Airlines are named. The widow of Casey Crafton, who was from Connecticut, filed that lawsuit accusing the Army and the airline of failing to recognize warning signs after 30 near misses. This is attorney Bob Clifford.
The FAA allowed this environment to exist, knowing that there was massive congestion and these number of near misses.
The first of what are expected to be a host of lawsuits stemming from that crash last January 29th. Connecticut vaccine deniers came out to the state capitol in part to object to Connecticut joining neighbors in a regional health collaborative. WTIC's Dave Mager reports.
Hecklers at a press conference led by Democratic State Rep Caitlin McCarthy-Vahey.
Vaccines are safe and effective. That together.
At the hearing that followed, Public Health Commissioner Dr. Manisha Jutani responded to one of the protesters' main concerns. Their claim that by formally collaborating with other states, Connecticut is trying to create a regional Centers for Disease Control.
We are not forming a regional.
All right, apparently an issue with that report, and we'll try to get that fixed and ready to go next time around. In the meantime, a warning from Ukraine President Zelensky at the UN General Assembly. He says NATO membership for his country, opposed by President Trump, might not be enough to protect it from Russia's continued aggression.
Stopping Russia now is cheaper than wondering who will be the first to create a simple drone carrying a nuclear warhead. So we must use everything we have together to force the aggressor to stop.
As more Americans buy used cars, there is a push to require dealers to repair outstanding safety recalls of any kind. If they don't, the Used Car Safety Recall Repair Act, the auto manufacturers would provide the parts that are needed within 60 days or face a penalty worth 1% of the vehicle's fair market value. Senator Richard Blumenthal introducing that measure.
Used cars can be sold now, even if they have defects under recall, without any notice to consumers and any repairs. That is a loophole that needs to be closed.
Just before the close on Wall Street, the Dow down 171 points, the NASDAQ down 75, and the S&P down 18. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts, and warranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
That was weird. Mike, everything about my whole system just literally froze on me. That's like some weird thing going on. Anyway, we're fixing it. Anyway, it's been a weird Wednesday of all days. It's because you said hump day. I'm telling you, that's your fault, bro.
I say that every week.
You say it every week, every time. Just a weird day. Coming up in a little bit, we have got William DeRosa. He is the former Newtown chair of the Republicans, turning Newtown red, which is interesting considering all the crazy stuff that's going on there now. But we got to do this thing.
Savory, flavory, bagel deli and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds, between rounds.
Congratulations goes to Linda A. in Colchester. She is our winner today for the dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. If you'd like to win, you have to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Fill out all the information there, including your birth date and your telephone number. Somebody went in there and put it, they didn't leave their last name, so I had to disqualify them. Please make sure you fill out all the information on there in order for you to be eligible. You must live in the state of Connecticut, and you cannot have won within the last 6 months from today in order to apply. Like I said, when we come back, we'll talk to William DeRosa about this situation going on in Newtown. And if I can, I'm going to tease this a little bit in a minute that I have. these stories are outlandish. And it really, it bothered me a little bit for two reasons. One, the fact that no one is talking about it. And two, no one thought about coming to me? Does my reputation not precede me? This is exactly the story you bring to my desk. So I'm, you people out there who finally, it took the Connecticut Sentinel to actually publish it, and then I, jumped on it. But you guys in Newtown, if you're not listening to Reese on the Radio, get on it. Because, like, lickety split, this is done. You can bank on it. And not the way Nancy Pelosi does it. I'm not kidding. This is easily remedied. Easily. And I'm hearing all this stuff like some people lawyer up. Yeah, okay. Good luck. We'll get into it. All right, so stand by for that. William DeRosa is going to be with us in a little bit. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Bob Larson's got weather. And Tom O'Hanlon's in for Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. 84 westbound is all loaded up from Main Street over to Hartford. Now we're looking at Founders Bridge, and that's picking up plenty of traffic. 84 eastbound up into Parkville, you're hitting the brakes here and there. We have congestion between exits 44 and 51. Route 2 is fairly heavy now going up from Wilbur Cross to 84. Route 3 is moving. 91 southbound in Windsor, we have some delays between exits 34 and 32 with traffic volume. And 291 looks pretty good. And a note in Wethersfield, a crash on 91 southbound. That is between exits 25N and 24. It's off on the right shoulder. Around New Haven, Wilbur Cross 15 northbound, congested between 42B and 50. That's because of a crash that happened between exits 46 and 50. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Maybe not.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Yeah, they might be having issues too.
Yeah.
Protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic a part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, ShopRite, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
The dog days of summer are fading quickly. Hurry to get this limited time preseason offer. Call ALO Home Services today and take advantage of their $99 heating system check special. Prevent costly and inconvenient breakdowns backed by a worry-free no breakdown guarantee. Call, click, or text today and say hello ALO, licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S33086999, SM3004646, E11854643.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yes, Wendy, what you can do is just, exactly like that. Just post the petition on the Facebook page. I will post it anywhere again because, of course, as news feeds go, they, move on your social media. I'll post it again, folks, during the next commercial break to make sure it's there, Wendy. So stand by for that. So for those of you who were following the show yesterday, we were talking about the Newtown School behavioral therapist who's under fire by many of the parents in Newtown for her racist social media post. And people are calling for her immediate dismissal. And as we started to talk about this story, more and more people started contacting me because they kind of felt like they were being ignored, especially by the people who should be representing them inside the school board. They're not getting that, and people are fearful of dealing with this group. And I'm listening to this story. I had a phone call with a young woman, Wendy, who will be on the show tomorrow. She's in the chat room now, and if you want to reach out to her, you can. But she'll be on the show tomorrow to talk about her experience with this group. And sorry about that. I forgot to put the thing on. So on the phone with us is someone who had some dealings with the Newtown. What's the name of this group? Sorry, the Newtown Allies for Change. The Klan. Anyway, we'll just get. We'll talk to William DeRosa. How you doing, William?
I'm fine. How are you, Reese? Thanks for having me on this afternoon. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. So, William, your capacity in Newtown was you were the chair and the vice chair for Republicans in the town. You have since retired from that role. You no longer sit in that role, but you are still an active member in the community of Newtown. I know you're out of town now, but you are still active in that community. But you've resigned as a result to your relationship or your back and forth with the Newtown Allies for Change?
It played a big role in it because I was not getting done what I wanted to get done, which was take these people on, and I could not garner the support from the Republican Town Committee to do it, which I felt if we had done it back a few years ago, back in 2020, 21, and actually dealt with it head on, it could have been rectified in a situation that would have worked. Instead, it was just allowed that everyone, the attitude was, oh, they'll go away. No one's going to pay attention. They're just going to die out. Well, it's not what you're dealing with. They're actually a very, very well-funded and organized group. They have a very, very bright woman that runs it with a big board of directors. And basically, this group is an outgrowth. They're the bad guys for the Newtown Democrat Town Committee. It's all colluded.
Okay,
so go ahead.
So my question to you is the fact that they have been able to behave in this way and the protection that they're receiving, it's not just because they are an apparatus of the Democrat Party, but it's also because there are plenty within the Republican Party who are fearful of them because these are people of color, and they are afraid of being deemed or called racist, that it never works. And the news media will immediately jump to their defense as opposed to the people of Newtown who will immediately be called racist or bigoted for challenging their behavior.
You hit the head on the nail. It's exactly the problem. They're all afraid of being called racist, and they don't want to have a situation where they're making trouble. So they tend to back away from it. And this is the tactics. I mean, they have a good reason to be fearful of these people. They're holding Newtown by hostage.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn that. In fact, I'm going to be talking to Wendy tomorrow about this, but Wendy tells a story, and this is, I can't hold this in. I was going to save it for when Wendy talks about it, and she will. She'll get an opportunity to tell everybody the details of it. But it can't go without saying, and I think it's an urgent thing to point out. So as I talk to Wendy, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Wendy's story, but Wendy,
of course I am.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're
she got
familiar
beat
with her.
up.
Okay, so Wendy, according to Wendy and witnesses who were there and spoke up, Wendy was physically assaulted by a member of this group because they wished for her to join. She refused because she could not go or align herself with some of the tenets of this organization, which in essence was supposed to only be a referendum on Black, Indigenous, and people of color, or BIPOCs. And because Wendy did not see the world, her worldview wasn't that of this particular organization, they immediately attacked her for it, and in one case, physically.
I was not aware of the reason why, being that she refused to join them, but I knew that she was physically assaulted, and there was a police report written, and it was quite well known in the town that this took place. And the problem is that it's not really the person. I mean, it is that these are the people who they are, and it's not just the person that attacked Wendy. Danielle Lozer, that's the only name I will use because you already used it once on the radio here. But,
but just for the record, because I don't want them to associate. Danielle Slaughter Lozer is not the person who attacked Wendy.
She is not. She is not. She's just another person, another representative of this group that shows you what you're dealing with, and this is the mindset. They refer to themselves as troublemakers, and they're here to make trouble, and this is not something that I'm just saying, of opinion or something like this. They put this on the website. They refer to themselves as troublemakers, and they're here to shove DEI down the throat of this town, and they're going to do it their way. And if that means beating people up, showing up at every meeting to the Board of Education and tyrannizing the Republican ladies, I had 2 gals that we put on there, 3 actually. We took and they made their lives miserable.
But see, there's a part of this, William, that I'm experiencing. By the way, if you're just joining us, we're on the phone with William DeRosa, former chair and vice chair of the Republican Party in Newtown. What I'm noticing here in speaking to Wendy and speaking to you yesterday a little bit about what's going on here, these are the tactics. And I've said this before, and people thought that, I've heard a lot of you say this to me. It's like, Reese, that's a little bit over the top. But when you are physically assaulting people because they don't agree with your ideology, we're talking about physical abuse of an individual because they didn't agree with you as they're walking down the street. Those tactics were done by the Klan in the 1940s and 50s, if not earlier. But that was the behavior where you don't see the world or have the worldview that we do. You are a physical opponent of our mission, to where somebody accosts you in the middle of the street and does it in public in front of everyone. And knowing that you can behave like that with impunity shows exactly, this is a domestic terrorism organization at that level. Yes?
It is. And they've infiltrated every area. I told you they're very smart. They're very well educated lawyers and whatsoever. And the
Klan had lawyers. The Klan had lawyers. Of course they did.
Yeah, no, the lawyer runs this thing. I think quite a well-known lawyer that worked for large law firms in New York City and things like that. And they have infiltrated the school districts. That's their main goal, is to get into the schools. They're in the police department. They're in the public.
No, they're not.
Oh, they are. You walk through the door of the public library, and if you go through the entrance, and there's their poster with their kids and their art, and they put the books, all their books and things that they want the people to be educated with. They're all in the school library, and they go into the schools and they make up the blackboards for the classes, and they hand out cash awards to teachers at the end of the year. They go into our school district, and whoever they like, if they're doing a good job for them and promoting their agenda for what they want, they hand out awards at the end of the year to their teachers. There are several of the teachers that are members of the Newtown Allies that are in our school district. Yeah, they're teaching, and they're members of the Allies.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about this if you haven't heard of it. Anyway, the Newtown Allies for Change, or commonly known as the NAFC, is a grassroots advocacy organization based in Newtown, Connecticut, run entirely by volunteers. Their mission is to center Black, Indigenous, and people of color, BIPOC, in the community by promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion through education efforts and public discussions. Now, I'm not going to lie. I watched a video that was just sent to me by Kathleen. I just watched the video. I mean, I was watching this and going, how is this? The only thing they were missing were hoods. That's what I watched.
At the end of the day, that's what you're dealing with. Modern day hoods. modern day educated hoods.
Yeah.
And the methods they used, they took one of the Board of Education members, wonderful guy, and they took a scarecrow. They have an annual event at Fairfield Hill, and every one person you enter a contest and you design your own scarecrow. Well, the Allies took out a scarecrow, and they did the scarecrow. One of the Board of Education members put a T-shirt on him saying fascism is not patriotism.
Really?
And this is the kind of stuff they do. This is, and they berate and they bully people in public. I can tell you that I knew of a vigil that they wanted to do for Charlie Kirk of a person that was going to hold one, and she called and said, "No, I can't do it. I'm afraid they're going to show up with the videos." They came over to Trumbull, the guy that the Newtown ally, and he videoed that. And we have kids, and my husband owns a store. We can't do it.
William,
they also do it to the businesses.
William,
they also
wait, hold on. William DeRosa is on the phone with us, out of Newtown, who had this encounter with the Newtown Allies for Change. Can you? I need to go back to this scarecrow thing. So they designed a scarecrow with the T-shirt on it that said "Fascism is not patriotism." Did they put the scarecrow in front of that individual's home like a burning cross?
No, they put it in there's an area called the Fairfield Hills, which is a community area. It's about 20 acres, and there were several scarecrows all over. Everyone put their design in to be judged by the town, and they put it out there. I remember going with several people and protesting it, and they wouldn't allow us to do anything. They said it was that first of all that they're protected, and secondly, it's freedom of speech.
Right.
And so they refused to pull it down.
So what's been the response, if any? I mean, I'm asking you, I may be asking you to say something that you cannot. So here's what I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you in an atmospheric way. If you were to speculate what the fear is it solely because these people are black, indigenous people of color, and nobody wants to offend them? Or is there something far worse? Like, do they actually have support of the community that is so strong? You guys are smaller in that space. Like, you have a smaller fraction of people who are opposed to this.
Oh, that's a difficult question.
Okay.
I believe they are part of a bigger picture.
Okay.
I think they're funded from a much bigger picture, and
yeah, but you know what? They could be. Listen, hold on, William. They could be well funded and still be a small group, right? But having that funding,
they're involved with national. The woman is being recognized, and it's not just Newtown.
Okay.
Okay, it's part of a bigger picture.
Do you believe that Newtown? Do you think that Newtown has no resistance to this? Do you think that this is like an uphill battle and almost impossible to get these folks to sort of disengage?
I think people are scared. I think you hit it when you first came in. I think people are scared. I'm going to tell you a personal story of my own dealings with them. But I want to go back just one second because I said a statement that was incorrect, and I want to make sure that I said fascism is not patriotism, and that wasn't what it was. Racism is not patriotism.
Okay, racism is not patriotism. Okay.
Racism is not patriotism is what they put on the scarecrow. I was just looking at the picture, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I misspoke there.
Okay.
So I want to go back. So my personal dealings with them were a few years ago in 2023. There was a lot of controversy over some very mature books that were in our school libraries with the kids that dealt with some really mature themes that I felt were way beyond little kids, and especially 18-year-olds. I mean, I don't think you and I would be comfortable discussing as adults the
was it racial or sexual?
It was both.
Oh, okay.
It was both.
Okay.
It was both sexual and racial. And I wrote I signed a form along with several other people that the school district had asked us. They personally requested for sort of to fill out these forms. They were called the challenge. And I simply put, I think these are way too mature, and I feel that that the parents should have control of what their children are reading. So there should be some sort of system in place so the parents have something to say about this. Well, the whole thing was turned around on all of us. We all became racist, homophobes, you name it. Every word in the book. They were throwing water bottles at the Board of Education members, calling them four-letter words, screaming from the audience.
What?
The board, yes, it was like a riot. And then they took all of our names. They FOIA'd the school district. Many of us have kids. I have a 10-year-old in the school district. They FOIA'd the school district and for these forms, and took all of our names and published them in every major media in Connecticut.
Holy moly. Okay.
Yeah, and called the employers. Some of the people that were involved called their employers up and tried to get them fired from their jobs. We have a legislative council member right now. They're trying to have her brought up on ethics charges for speaking about Danielle Lozer.
Okay. You know what, William, thank you so much. I do have to go, but I'm going to communicate with you after the show. We're going to bring you back because we're going to have Wendy on tomorrow. We're going to talk to a lot more parents who are speaking up, and we appreciate you being on. You got it. All right. I will call you tomorrow. Thank you, man. That's William DeRosa. We'll talk to him a little bit more at another time, but we'll have Wendy on tomorrow. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. We've got Mark Christopher's out, so we've got Tom O'Hanlon and Bob Larson's with weather. It's Reese on the Radio.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. This traffic report is brought to you by Amplify CT. 84 westbound we're busy starting around Main Street over and into Hartford, and 84 westbound also slow in New Britain, exit 36 to 33 with traffic. In West Hartford, we're looking at the brake lights here and there on the eastbound side of 84 between exit 44 and 51. Route 2 is fairly busy up into 84. Route 3 picking up some traffic, but still moving. 91 southbound stop and go through Windsor, but 291 is okay. And also 91 southbound down to New Haven, we're all right. But watch out, we do have a crash on the southbound side of 95 in West Haven. Did you know that Connecticut has regional suicide advisory boards that help to eliminate suicide by focusing on prevention and post-vention response? Learn how you can be part of the solution. Visit amplifyct.org to learn more and amplify our mental health. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy and humid the rest of this afternoon. The passing shower, high near 75. Tonight cloudy, some rain on occasion, low 63. Variable cloudiness and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Overall, the rain is beneficial, but any storm can produce gusty winds. High 73. Warmer weather on Friday, a mix of clouds and sun. Can't rule out a shower. High 80. Pleasant Saturday, a mix of clouds and sun. High 79. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 4:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Anti-vaxxers shouted down those at a state capitol news conference today. Lawmakers were previewing a hearing about sustaining public access in face of shifting policies at the federal level. 7 people are now under arrest in Hartford. This in connection with a human trafficking ring. The suspects were rounded up following that investigation that began last spring. 3 people shot at an immigration facility in Dallas today, 2 fatally. 1 sustained critical injuries. The shooter took their own life. At least 5 million gallons of water lost in Waterbury after a water main break yesterday. They spent most of the day trying to patch that break. All the public schools were closed as a result today. First lawsuit stemming from the crash last January between a military chopper and an American Airlines jet over Washington, D.C. has been filed. The widow of Casey Crafton of Connecticut says in the lawsuit they failed to recognize warning signs in spite of nearly or over 2 dozen near misses. China, the world's largest carbon polluting nation, is announcing a new climate fighting goal to cut emissions by 7% to 10% by 2035. Comes as more than 100 world leaders lined up today to talk about increased urgency and the need for stronger efforts to curb the spewing of heat-trapping gases. Wall Street, the Dow finished down 171 points. NASDAQ lost 75. S&P dropped 18. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety. Or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, so I just got an opportunity to see the picture of the scarecrow that William DeRosa was just talking about. And, yeah, I'm getting these statements inside the in the chat room, and that, if true, is concerning on the level of power these individuals have. So I'm having a hard time here. Just hear me out on this a little bit, because I'm thinking about this on so many levels. So this group, in essence, has been working in the shadows in Newtown. Unless I'm missing something. And maybe you guys can help me. Maybe you can correct the record. By the way, get all the parents and all of the folks who are in Newtown who did not listen to this show, reach out to them, because I want to know more. Now, I want you to think about this, because I like to consider myself a rational person, but I don't think it's fair for me to call myself rational. I think I am. I could be wrong here. But let me just share with you my rationale. The NAACP of Greater Connecticut always puts itself on Front Street. Poor girl got sent home because her hair was a different color. The media came a-running. Racism. Black Lives Matter 860 says, the state police are pulling over more blacks than they are whites. Turns out to be false, but media came a-running. And we have this situation in Newtown, of all places, Newtown, where racism is being accused all over the place, and nothing, no stories. It's all quiet. Parents living in fear, trying to get the school board or get people in the neighborhood to address it. But everybody's mum's the words. Keep it down. And yet, these folks just get to further assault somebody. I don't know who else they may have assaulted, but assault someone. Sure, the individual gets arrested. Absolutely. But sure enough, nothing, no reporting at all. And this is able to go under the cover of darkness, and no one, just They have to sit there and take it. Reese on the Radio gets a hold of it, just as a story going through news. And now everybody's coming out of the woodwork. Now, one of two things are happening here. Either these folks sat idly by and did nothing, or they were waiting for somebody to pay attention to them. I'm inclined to think it's the latter. I am. And I'm hearing, at least from William, that they've got lawyers and they've got, alliances. They've got certain people in law enforcement that's on their side. I don't know if that's true. To be honest with you, I don't care. But if that's what's happening here, we have a very serious situation happening in Newtown. I don't want to blow it up like that, but it sounds like it is. And from what I'm hearing, if what Wendy's saying and what Kathleen is saying and what William's saying, we have a very serious problem in Newtown. And I think it's time we put a bigger spotlight on it. Because Reese on the Radio has friends too. Let's get some weather and traffic. We'll come back and talk about it some more, plus some other news when we return. Tom O'Hanlon's in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. This traffic report is brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. Well, a heads up on 84 eastbound in Hartford between exits 48 and 49. We have a center lane crash, 2 vehicles involved. 84 eastbound, we're slowing down in West Hartford, exit 44 to 51. Westbound 84 loaded up from Main Street over into Hartford. 84 westbound slow in New Britain, too, around exits 36 to 33. 2 is fairly busy up into 84 and getting busier. 3 is moving with some stop and go. 91 southbound has some delays through Windsor just with traffic. And 291's okay. In Wethersfield, a crash on 91 southbound between exits 25N and 24. Stuck in traffic again? Don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast, often in just one day. Open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now. Columbia Implant Center, ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Considerable cloudiness and humid the remainder of today with a shower or two in the area, high near 75. Some rain at times tonight, low 63. Tomorrow, clouds, only limited sun. Humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Any storm can produce gusty winds, high 73. A mixture of clouds and sunshine on Friday and turning warmer. Can't rely on a shower, high about 80. Saturday looks nice, a mixture of clouds and sunshine with an afternoon high of 79. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080. Looking to retire with confidence? Get the answers you need. Tune in to Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman. Sunday mornings at 9:30 on News Talk WTIC AM. Strategies, insights, and smart retirement talk. Don't miss it.
A successful retirement doesn't just happen. It requires a plan that is custom built to suit everyone's individual financial situation. Every Saturday at 3, we share vital information on how to build and live a successful retirement. It's On the Money with Jay Dorso. Retirement strategies on building income and proper protection from the pitfalls and the latest news in the retirement universe. On the Money with Jay Dorso, 3 p.m. this Saturday on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require on consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the Radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Yeah, we're back. I just got a message in another chat room. I have like 3 of them going on here. And a listener, Michelle, writes, the scarecrow that William mentioned was made to mock an elderly member of the Board of Ed who had lost his wife right around the time of the scarecrow. So the scarecrow, if you've seen the picture, it is a skeleton. And that's the kind of level of cruelty that's being done here. And again, this was, if you were listening to the show yesterday, exactly what I said is now coming to pass. I'm learning this now. That because there are people who are afraid, and there are others who refuse to push back, what does a bully do? A bully will come in and just continue to take your lunch money, continue to abuse you. The added portion of this that really makes this despicable is the fact that people are concerned about being called racist because of it. That is the really scary part. Now, I know that there are a lot of you who are listening to the program today who are in that neighborhood, maybe new. I'm totally respect that, and thank you for joining the show. If I turn you off with the next thing I'm about to say, I understand. Acceptance is always the answer. But I need to say this to you, and this is not about chastising you. This is about telling you the honest to goodness truth. You should be a little more like me. You don't have to give a damn what these people say about you. These people will annihilate you at the blink of an eye. They have absolutely no hesitation in their heart to destroy you. They will run your town. They will run you out of town. They will make it unbearable for you. They are heartless, and the only thing they want is for themselves. They are selfish, they are bigoted, and they are racist. And in order to protect your right to exist in your own community, it's not about you being there first or you pushing back on it because it had nothing to do with that. You were being attacked. You were being marginalized in a way that they claim is happening to them. They have the upper hand. They are the oppressors now. And as I've expressed to everyone, when you give the other side the power, they're always under the impression, let's give it to them. Let's give them the power because they are clearly more righteous than the rest of us. We're white. As many of you say, we're white. Give it to them. Just give it up so they can feel what the power is like. They're probably more virtuous than the rest of us. And you do. And then you start to realize something when you're in the midst of it. You find out it has nothing to do with whether or not they're black or they're female. You find out that they're human. And old adages like absolute power corrupts absolutely, those things start to take a foothold. You start to realize, holy crap, these people are no better than me. These people are no better than the thing that they're accusing me of, my inherent racism, my inherent privilege. All that nonsense that they made me feel horrible about, making me read white fragility. What happened when I acquiesced, when I gave them all the power? What did they do? They attacked people in the street. They put photographs of your children online. They terrorized you. And worst off, people sat around and let it happen. They talk about fascism. But isn't that what's happening to you? Isn't that what you're experiencing? Made to be silent? People who won't step up? People who say that they're afraid of speaking out because they just don't want any trouble? I love the way Jordan Peterson put it when he said, so many people run around and saying, if I were in Nazi Germany, I would have spoken up. I would have protected people. And then he witnessed the pandemic where people were calling the authorities on people. Jane's got 10 people at her house when they're supposed to be quarantined. What's happening at Newtown? Come on, what's happening? No one. No one say anything. I ain't even from there. I've got no skin in the game. But I hate bullies. I hate them. I hate them in all shapes and sizes. And that's the reason why I don't care about their color. I don't care about their femininity. I don't care about their so-called oppression. I don't give a damn. What they're doing is wrong, and they know it. And they're doing it with a smile on their face. And they'll go one step further. And they have allies. They have allies and people who think, just stay in their good graces. Just nod along and do what they tell us to do. Turn on your fellow neighbor. They're in charge now. While they scream fascism. Yeah, look at that. Boycotting businesses. Putting them on boycott lists. Who's the fascist now? Who are they? We're going to bring attention to this in the worst kind of way. In the worst kind of way. And I don't care how many lawyers are there. Because if they can lawyer this into something that's beneficial to them, I'd love to see it. And the news media, we don't need you. No offense. FSB, TNH, NBC, Connecticut, we don't need you. We don't need you. When you want to jump on afterwards, when you get on the phone and say, hey, Reese, can we ask you about what's going on in Newtown? I will simply say, no. Absolutely not. You go over there and you find out. You go talk to those folks at that organization that are terrorizing them. You go find out what they're doing. You get them on camera. You ask them about the comments they put online. You ask them about the things that they say about their neighbors because of the color of their skin. You go talk to them about how they terrorize people. Don't come over here to talk about us who actually want to get something done. You guys ignored them. You left them hanging in the wind. And for those of you who allowed your neighbors, your friends and your neighbors to be treated in this way, if you want to join up now, do it early. If you're afraid, play the background. We'll give you some pom-poms and you can cheer the rest of us on. Okay? So we understand each other. So now I have to say it. We went after Dequat. We continue to go after Chris Murphy. And now we have a new problem. On the docket today is Newtown, Connecticut. And we're going to get to the bottom of this. If you want to be a part of it, you're going to have to be a part of it. If not, like I said, play the background. NewtownAllies.org, Newtown Allies for Change on Facebook, their Instagram and X. We are going to ask for an interview and we're going to ask for a statement. We're going to ask a lot of questions and we're going to demand answers. And for those of you who are on the school board who are allowing this to go on and have these children be terrorized in that way and not taking care of your neighbors while you sit on that board, we want to talk to you too. We don't care about the whole First Amendment thing. These folks, you're absolutely right. They have a First Amendment right to say as much racist stuff as they want to. They have a First Amendment right to incite any way they want to, as you guys like to look at it. Just post anything. Just put up scarecrows and insult everybody. That's fine. You have a problem with that? That's absolutely. You don't have a problem with it? We're cool with that. But please, I don't want to hear anything else. By the way, call my bosses if you want. I don't care. This is my mission now. This is my mission now. They told me, I remember this. They told me when I got here, Reese, you got to do more local stuff. I said, don't worry. I got you. I said, don't worry. Connecticut will be well taken care of. What's going on, Mike? How are you?
Reese, good afternoon, sir.
What's up?
I couldn't get you to come to Colebrook, so I got to still talk to you on the phone.
That's okay. We'll still come through town. What's going on?
I'm here thinking, and I'm taking a little lead from the way you think.
Okay.
Why don't you try to get one of those huckleberries from the Allies on your show and let them condemn themselves on air?
We are. What we're going to do is we're going to talk to them because, again, what we're understanding is that these folks are trying to make the world a better place for people of color. Well, we're going to ask them to defend themselves. And if they don't, we'll know exactly what the problem is. And that is they wish to behave with impunity. What they want to do is harass. What they wish to do is to force people to kneel to them. But we're going to get them. Look, if they want to come on, they will. I know they won't. I'm not concerned with that. They're like the NAACP and Black Lives Matter. They'll say that they're going to come on. Yeah, we'll be there and never show up. I'm good with that. ACLU doesn't want to come on the program either. These folks need a platform. They don't want to come here, and I don't care because I don't need them.
They're too full of themselves. They can't. They'll jump at the chance just to get some airtime.
Oh, no. We'll see. We're going to reach out to them, and we're going to say, so we understand that there's a problem with the folks of Newtown, and we understand that there's been some harassing tactics that have been going on. We'd like you to come on the air and defend yourself. Now, I know they won't. And if they're funded in the fashion in which they're telling me online, or at least telling me in the chat room, we'll get to the bottom of that too. But this cannot stand. Mike, this cannot stand.
Copy that.
So that's what we're going to do. Thank you, boss. I appreciate you. Let's go to Dave in Windsor. What's going on, sir?
Hey, how you doing, Reese? Haven't talked to you in a while. I got to say something real quick. Little off topic, but I just read the article and I saw the photo. It's really funny. So the White House has like a presidential tour Hall of Fame, right? And
yes.
Photos and everything.
I saw it.
So did you? Oh, you saw it?
It's sitting right in front of me on the screen.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame. Yes, okay.
It's the coldest thing. This White House has been so trolling. And so whoever's in charge.
I was just going to say the ultimate troll. He's the ultimate.
So to describe what Dave is talking about here is that they have this sort of this row of presidents, of course, from George Washington all the way to Donald Trump. And as it works its way all the way down. So it starts off relatively like recent. I think it starts somewhere or anywhere around Lincoln. No, I'm sorry, not Lincoln. I apologize. Nixon or Ford. So it's roughly around there.
I think it is Nixon.
Yeah,
right.
Nixon. And it starts to go up to present-day presidents. So, of course, it goes, it goes Ford, it goes Carter, it goes Reagan, it goes, H.W. Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and then the next photo is the auto pin. And then Donald Trump again. And the auto pen has already finished signing Joseph R. Biden. And it is the funniest thing when you see it. And it's like, damn, it's just messed up, but it is hilarious.
Reese, can I ask you real quick? Do you think, like, if Trump and Elon really don't hate each other, this is the ultimate troll I've ever seen in my entire life?
You know what? I told my wife at the Charlie, when I was watching the Charlie Kirk memorial in Arizona, when I saw that video of Elon sitting down to Trump, and then I got the lip reading version of it, seeing them, I called my wife and I just said, Mom and Dad got back together.
This is what made me really think it was a troll moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it was such a great vision. And then the best part is that before I go to break, I want to tell you this one. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It is a great memorial to the three of them. It's Charlie Kirk on his podcast. On the other side is a picture of Elon and Trump meeting each other or talking at the memorial. And Charlie Kirk is doing this monologue about how they're going to become friends again. The way that he did. It is the most amazing. I almost cried. It was so beautiful, and it was perfect.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, you got to check it out. It's great. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. We got to take a break.
Mike. Have a good one.
You got it. You too. We got to take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views, and I'll read some more of your comments. It looks like a lot of you are talking about this Newtown story, as it should be, when we return. Tom O'Hanlon. He's in with Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. It is solid traffic on 84 westbound from Main Street over to across the river and into Hartford. Then it continues to be pretty heavy over into West Hartford. On the eastbound side of 84, we're looking at the traffic flow getting up into Parkville, where we're seeing more brake lights, and pretty solid there as you're working your way up, and then it eases up a little bit as you're approaching Hartford. Now, some of the other things we're watching, of course, Route 2 is feeling the heat going up into 84. 91 southbound, we're stop and go through Windsor. 291, we're in pretty good shape. Looking at the ride there, it is looking like we're feeding into 91 southbound with a bit of traffic, and also on the northbound side. And in Wethersfield, a crash on 91 southbound, exit 25 into 24, it's on the right shoulder. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
Mnexspike, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna, is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy and humid the rest of this afternoon. The passing shower, high near 75. Tonight, cloudy, some rain on occasion, low 63. Variable cloudiness and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Overall, the rain is beneficial, but any storm can produce gusty winds. High 73. Warmer weather on Friday, a mix of clouds and sun. Can't rule out a shower, high 80. Pleasant Saturday, a mix of clouds and sun, high 79. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
5 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Water main break in Waterbury forced schools to close and left city residents without service, primarily in the higher elevations. That break in the 100-year-old main occurred on Tuesday. Officials had to wait for water and about 10 miles of pipe to drain before making the necessary repairs. This is Waterbury Mayor Paul Pernaruski.
If you drink bottled water, that's fine. If you're going to drink the water, you need to boil it at least until we understand that the water has been cleared, clean, is good enough to drink. We expect that to be the case, but we need to test it.
The plan was to install a pair of 30-inch insertion valves later this week to ensure that schools, the hospital, and businesses can operate normally. Connecticut vaccine deniers interrupted a press conference at the Capitol today. Public Health Committee co-chair Christine McCarthy-Vahey tried to explain why doctors and lawmakers gathered for a hearing.
To speak with one voice, to say that vaccines are safe and effective, that vaccines, we want to hear the people's voices right now. I ask that you let ours be heard.
Now, the heckling continued through the half-hour press conference. The Department of Public Health is leading the hearing, or led the hearing, about how the state will continue to ensure equitable access to vaccines in the face of shifting priorities at the federal level. The family of one of the 67 people who were killed when an airliner collided with an Army helicopter over Washington, D.C. in January is suing the government and the airlines involved. Other families will join that lawsuit later. The widow of Casey Crafton of Salem, Connecticut, filed the lawsuit today. It seeks to hold the FAA, the Army, American Airlines, and its regional partner accountable for the deadliest plane crash in the U.S. since 2001. Attorney Bob Clifford.
Had the Army done what it was supposed to do, had the FAA done what it was supposed to do, none of this would happen.
The NTSB says contributing factors include the helicopter flying too high and over 24 near misses. 3 detainees at a Dallas immigration facility were shot today. Joe Rothrock is with the FBI.
The FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence. It is unfortunately just the most recent example we've seen of targeted violence.
FBI Director Kash Patel posted photos of bullets with anti-ICE messages on them. The gunman died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Correspondent Scott McFarland with more on security concerns on these types of buildings with threats on the rise.
That's one of 9,000 or so federal offices and federal complexes in America. 9,000. There are thousands of Federal Protective Service officers, but there's only so much manpower to protect all of these places. The vulnerability of federal complexes, federal employees, including those involving immigration and customs enforcement, have been a profound and growing concern here in Washington that have today broken through.
Hartford police have made an arrest in a human trafficking investigation. Details from WTIC's Morgan Cunningham.
7 people are under arrest and facing numerous charges in a human trafficking investigation that began earlier this year in Hartford. It was in May when police received reports of human trafficking that was going on in the capital city. The investigation turned up 3 female juveniles who were being exploited. They've since been safely returned to their families. Now 7 suspects are in custody. They're facing numerous charges, including assault, trafficking in persons, risk of injury to a minor, and kidnapping. Further details have not been unsealed in an arrest warrant. Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
Clock's ticking toward a partial government shutdown next week. Democrats on Capitol Hill drawing a line in the sand. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
If the government shuts down, it will shut down because Donald Trump and Republicans in the House and the Senate have made that decision to intentionally inflict pain on the American people.
President Trump says the ball's in the court of the Democrats. Wall Street, the Dow down 171 points today. NASDAQ lost 75, and the S&P was down 18. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Slow? Clogged? Up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you. People who understand the value of experienced, highly skilled professionals. That's why you'll have access to a team of specialists to help you invest for the life you want. Why? You've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a team built around you. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible advisory services provided by Hennion and Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion and Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I know I didn't say that I had any, but it's 5:05. It's Hollywood News with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz, all the glamour. It's Hollywood News. In today's installment of Hollywood News, it couldn't be Hollywood if you weren't talking about what happened last night on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Now, I will admit, I am not going to be like everybody else and play clips from him sobbing and crying. Yeah, no, not interested. But I am going to say this before I play the clip. This is a guy who used to be on a television program called The Man Show with Adam Carolla, who is a conservative. He's a good friend. And that guy went from a show called The Man Show to a whimpering, crying individual on last night's show at a cool $16 million a year. That says all I need to know. This is Harry Enton talking about the interest in the show last night.
Record high Google searches last night for what time is Jimmy Kimmel on? You wouldn't have to check what time Jimmy Kimmel was on if you were a regular viewer. The reason that people were checking what time Jimmy Kimmel was on, because he was potentially pulling in a lot of viewers who normally didn't watch. And get this, it was up over 10,000%. My goodness gracious. This, of course, dates all the way back since 2004, basically since Jimmy Kimmel was first on the air. So no.
The only reason why they cared was because he was back. Good luck keeping the ratings up, Jimmy. I doubt you will, but we'll keep an eye on it. Good luck. I mean, I'm just saying, you guys have to commit now. You've got to watch every episode and make sure he never falters in the ratings, or at least up to the contract in January. Good luck to you. We'll be waiting. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. We'll be back. Here's Tom O'Hanlon in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. We have a crash in Hartford on 91 southbound. It's between exits 33 and 32. The two right lanes are shut down. 91 southbound getting busier through Windsor minute by minute, and 291 is slowing down, also feeding both ways into 91. 84 westbound slow, Main Street over into Hartford, and westbound to New Britain, also 36 to exit 33. On 84 eastbound, we're pretty busy, exit 44 to 51. Route 2 is fairly heavy up into 84. 3 has some stop and go. And also in Wethersfield, a crash on 91 southbound happened between exit 25 in and 24. They've been working on cleaning that up. 91 southbound, you're okay down to New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Considerable cloudiness and humid the remainder of today with a shower or two in the area, high near 75. Some rain at times tonight, low 63. Tomorrow, clouds, only limited sun. Humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Any storm can produce gusty winds, high 73. A mixture of clouds and sunshine on Friday and turning warmer. Can't rely on a shower, high about 80. Saturday looks nice, a mixture of clouds and sunshine with an afternoon high of 79. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
In the fight against Alzheimer's, now matters. Because now we have new treatments that could change everything. Join the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, the world's largest fundraiser to fight the disease. Step up in your community at alz.org/walk.
Wisdom Teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Life is short, and if we spend our time suffering with pain and it takes away our joy, that's not a very good way to live.
He's right. It's hard to be happy when you're in constant pain. QC Kinetics patient Chad admits the chronic pain in his knee really robbed his quality of life.
When I was going to the traditional doctor and getting the pain pills, my smile wasn't as big as it usually is. Going to my high school reunion on crutches, it was awful.
But then Chad visited QC Kinetics. He experienced the real power behind natural regenerative treatments. Using healing properties from his own body, QC Kinetics was able to restore and repair damaged tissue, finally giving Chad lasting relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
And I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
Learn how advanced regenerative medicine can help your body heal itself at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
House stealing. Nightmare? That's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250. Don't wait.
Got it.
Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. We're gathering more and more info about this organization, the Newtown Allies for Change. And I am, with this information, going to start reaching out to these individuals to have a conversation about them coming on the air, or at least giving me something to quote, at least in the concerns. Someone also told me, and thank you, Weird Al, for telling me that the folks in Newtown don't really get WTIC in the Newtown area. It doesn't come in clear, and that may be part of the problem. We'll check into that as well. That could very well, because Newtown is considered like out there. That may be the case. Looking at some of the names here, I'm not going to mention any of the names here. I'm not going to use any of their tactics to sort of out them, if you will. But knowing their names and having their information is going to be beneficial to get to the bottom of this. And I'm one of these people who think that you should live by the thing that you're trying to do. And I don't think that that's ever been the case. These folks are who they are, and they do what they do. And again, you give them a little bit of power, and they know that they can influence people, and there's a degree of apprehension by others. As many people are saying in the chat room, I asked a listener, what's with the fear that's going on in Newtown? And it's the same thing. It's people are afraid of being labeled a racist. And I gotta say this. I've mentioned this before. So if you're new to the program, hear me out. There's a logic behind what I'm saying. So I always said one of the things that embarrassed me about George W. Bush, as I fought for his presidency in arguments with my family members and my friends, and even in radio, the thing that embarrassed me was in his book, Decision Points, when he talked about Kanye West after the events of Hurricane Katrina. And you remember the telethon that Kanye West, standing next to actor and comedian Mike Myers, said that George W. Bush doesn't care about black people. And it was the story. It was everywhere. And George W. Bush wrote in his book, Decision Points, about how that episode affected him. And in that moment, he felt like for the rest of his life, he was trying to prove that to be a lie or untrue. And I was clearly, I was a little caught off guard by that, because I'd never seen anyone respond like that. To write it in the book and talk about how consequential that moment was, that Kanye West, who had a very small role in the hip-hop community, sure, he was known, but he wasn't like the superstar, that he ended up being. He's very relatively new. He makes that, and George W. Bush is crushed by it. And it was the moment that I realized, and I know a lot of other people realized it, that wow, that racism thing, it's got some weight. And sure enough, Barack Obama becomes the president of the United States, and every time you had some sort of issue with him, that's all you had to say. I've got a problem with his health care plan. Racist. I think he's going to raise taxes on small businesses. Racist. And it became this weapon that a lot of people were concerned about. The Tea Party was called every day, called Tax Enough Already. Every person in Congressional Black Caucus was running around talking about it was a racist organization, even though it was filled with Democrats and Republicans and independents and libertarians and the whole like. It was like every walk of life politically was a part of the Tea Party movement. Racist. And if I remember, one of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, as they were seen in what I can only deem as the most step and fetch it moment in congressional history, as senior members of the Congressional Black Caucus walked in lockstep with Nancy Pelosi as she walked with a big giant gavel. You remember that photograph? Oh, black folks were not happy with that photo. People were saying stuff like, and the white woman will lead them. It was not good looking. But because of that photo, what did they do? They accused members of the Tea Party of spitting on them. Remember that? People put out $50,000 rewards to produce a photograph or a video of that happening. But that was the Congressional Black Caucus trying to protect itself, because they knew the optics of walking behind Nancy Pelosi with that big gavel like a bunch of Yazza bosses. Woo! Did not look good. But they immediately used racism, and people forgot all about it. I started to realize that that was going to be key, and you all know it. In 2008, that search skyrocketed. Racism, 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 racism. And everybody started marketing off it. 1619 Project, White Fragility. What's that guy's name? Kunta Kimbe X, whatever his name is. I don't care. That guy got some, what was it, $30 million that he wasted teaching racism at colleges and universities. I don't know what his name is. All I know is that he's still braiding his hair in 2025. Get a haircut, homie. Yeah. It was profitable. It was all over. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculously profitable. And here we got these people in 2025 still using it. And of all places, Connecticut. And they're still afraid. They've been able to use that term, racism, to actually allow themselves to be bullied and humiliated and intimidated. And it's actually kind of amazing to watch. Because while that is happening, think about the opposite side of that. Think about Newtown in this way. What are they telling us everywhere else in the world? That there are no people of color who have that kind of power. There are people all over the world who have this privilege, and black folks, especially black women, have no power and no say, have no station. And look at Newtown. And all you have to do, you mean to tell me that all you have to do is threaten someone by saying, if you don't do what I say, if you don't heal, I will call you racist, and I will tell everyone that you are one. Not even a fight? Like, not even a fight? I'm stunned. You know what I also find alarming? Where are all my civil rightsers who were in the chat room? All of my lovers of everything black. You could put a black mark on a piece of paper. They'll support it. I could put a black pen somewhere in there. They'll support it. No, it's black. I support it. Where are they now? Where's Donald? Where's John? Where's Bob J? Where are they? Where are their screams that this is wrong, Reese? I absolutely cannot stand and allow that to happen. They're all quiet. Oh, and don't get me wrong. I know they're there. They're all over my account. But they ain't talking about this. All the civil rightsers. Shh, shh, listen. Nothing. They actually probably appreciate this. They probably like it. They probably think it's a great idea. I don't know. I feel like Thanos. It's enough. Leave it to me. I want to talk about this real quick before I go to a break, because we're almost wrapping up, and it's been an insane day with audio and all this other stuff. But I want to read this. This is August 15th, day after my birthday, 2016, from Susan Scott at CNN. Headline: Acetaminophen during pregnancy may increase risk of hyperactivity in kids. That's ADHD, ladies and gentlemen. On October 30th of 2017, also, Susan Scott of CNN writes, headline: Study links acetaminophen in pregnancy to ADHD, but experts question results. September 23, 2021. Sandy Lamott, CNN. Headline: Common painkiller should be investigated for possible risks to developing fetuses, experts say. September 23rd, yesterday. CNN's Jen Christensen, Brenda Goodman, Meg Tyrell write this headline: Trump links autism to acetaminophen during pregnancy, despite decades of evidence it's safe. These people are despicable, every one of them. Somebody said to me yesterday, in fact, they said it to me in a private chat, and said, Reese, it's the pharmaceutical companies that are making them go against Donald Trump. They're concerned about their money. I never said a word. My question to them is, how's that possible? CNN went right at it. They relatively caused concern. Why didn't the pharmaceutical companies stop them in 2016 to prevent them from writing it again in October, a little more than a year later? By the way, this was all happening under the Trump administration. August was just 7 months into his administration. October 30th of 2017 is a full year in. September of 2021, the Biden administration. Common painkillers should be investigated for possible risks to developing fetuses, experts say. They posted it during his administration, and we're talking well into it. September 23rd. Why were there no calls by the pharmaceutical companies to say, hey, hello, we buy your advertising. You want to tamp that down? It isn't about the pharmaceutical companies. I get it. I know how easy that is. But this is because they are liars. It's that simple. It is. There are no conspiracy theories here. It's just that they're liars. That's all. All of these people in their positions of power, and once they get them, they cannot help themselves. They lie. Nothing about them is virtuous. Nothing. They have no interest in it. Forget all the nonsense. We'll come back in a little bit. We'll wrap all of this up. What are we going to do tomorrow? Is tomorrow Wednesday? Or Thursday? Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Okay. All right. Tomorrow's Thursday. I think the wife is on the road. I think she just sent me a message that she's in North Carolina now, which is really not far. She says she's about 18 hours away, but I think they're going through Kansas or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so she'll be back hopefully by Friday. I'm crossing my fingers. So we have to talk about this story with the acetaminophen, and I want to talk to her about that because she barely got a chance to really sort of jump in on the conversation. So we'll do what we can on that one. And like I said, if you want to get your calls in to wrap up the show, please do. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. And also, we'll take your text messages as well in the chat room. If you've got something to say, we'll take those as well. All right? That's about it. We'll wrap this puppy up. My show is completely off the rails today. We'll make up for it. Let's get to Tom O'Hanlon. He's in the BPS Traffic Center.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Well, we have double trouble on 91 now. We have a crash still working in Hartford on the southbound side between exits 33 and 32. It's off on the right shoulder after blocking 2 lanes earlier. And something new working in Windsor. Yes, that crash on the northbound side, that is between exits 34 and 35 there on Route 91. The left shoulder is closed. We're looking at delays on 291 feeding both ways into 91. You can expect that to build now. And also in 84 westbound, we're slow. Main Street over across the river into Hartford and eastbound exit 44 to 51. Route 2 has pretty steady traffic up into 84, a little bit better, but still pretty solid there. And Route 3 has some stop and go. We're looking at Weathersfield, a crash on 91 southbound. That's between exit 25N and 24. It's on the shoulder. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Into the remainder of this afternoon, though not as warm as yesterday. Plenty of clouds, even a brief shower or two. Today's high not far from 75. Tonight, cloudy with rain on occasion, low 63. Then variable cloudiness and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Overall, the rain is beneficial, but any storm can produce gusty winds, high 73. Warm, humid weather tomorrow night. A couple of thunderstorms in the area early at night. Any storm can cause temporary flooding on roadways and poor drainage areas. Lingering shower late at night, low tomorrow night 67. A little less humid on Friday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine and turning warmer. Can't rely on a stray shower, high 80. Looks like a nice start to the weekend Saturday. A mixture of clouds and sunshine, high 79. Becoming mostly cloudy on Sunday. Sunday's high 78 degrees. Looking ahead to Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 79. A little cooler on Tuesday, partly sunny, high 72. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. The family of a Connecticut man is filing suit in connection with that mid-air collision last January between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines jet. Casey Crafton was among 67 who died in the crash above the Potomac January 29th. Other families of victims are expected to sign on as well. Most, if not all, residents in Waterbury should have their water service restored by day's end. Crews have had their hands full with a water main break since late Tuesday. Low to no water pressure was the result of the break in that 30-inch main that dates back over 100 years, according to the mayor, saying that was the primary culprit. They had to drain about 10 miles of pipe, about 4 or 5 million gallons of water before they could actually get in and start the repair process. 2 people dead, another wounded following a shooting at an immigration detention center today in Dallas. The gunman, who police say fired from a nearby rooftop, took his own life. FBI Director Kash Patel posted photos of bullets containing anti-ICE messages. 7 people in Hartford have been arrested and charged with human trafficking. Police say 3 girls were rescued. That investigation began last May. Anti-vaxxers turned out at the Capitol in Hartford today. They were there to oppose lawmakers ahead of a forum on vaccine access. And Ukraine President Zelensky telling world leaders that the world is in the most destructive arms race in human history. Spoke to the UN General Assembly today, calling on the international community to act against Russia now, asserting that Putin wants to expand his war in Europe. Wall Street today, and the markets finished down again. The Dow lost 171 points. NASDAQ gave back 75, and the S&P was down 18 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203. 800-253-6203.
You're listening to Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have...
Oh, you will definitely... I don't know if it's love, but you'll be interested, Wendy. Frank's quite the character. We miss him.
Get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter trusted pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
Hey, I want to give, if I could, I'd like to give a shout out to Eric, who's out in Massachusetts, who's become a new supporter of the show. Eric, this one goes out to you because I know that there's a lot of times that people get what's called black news. And I make fun of it all the time. And I don't mean to be cruel, but some of it is funny. In fact, we have a whole thing that we do tomorrow on Thursday. And you haven't seen it, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview of it. It's something that we call Negro Nonsense. It goes a little something like this. Negro Nonsense. Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Negro nonsense.
How dare you?
Yes, and I will do, obviously, Negro nonsense tomorrow. But because it's been brought to my attention that you believe that Donald Trump is going to be erasing black history because of a report that you heard, I got that report as well. Somebody sent it to me, and I couldn't stop laughing. As soon as I read it, I went, so he's going to erase black history? Like, woo, like what? How is he going to erase it? Because in order to erase it, people are saying, oh, he's going to be removing it from the Smithsonian. Okay, is that the only place where black history lives? At the Smithsonian? It's in other places too. In fact, if I remember correctly, it's also online. And in other museums and libraries across the fruited plain. But if you're really concerned about him erasing it, the only way he could truly do that is if he were to take the 50 million black folks and hypnotize them and convince them there was no history of you on. Sorry, I can't help it. I can't even be serious about this. I can't. It's the most ridiculous thing. There's no, look, okay, erasing black history, with all due respect, we'd have to erase all black people. Like, they'd have to not exist. It'd have to be that cosmic slop thing from HBO, where the aliens come down and ask for everybody with 85% melanin or more. Like, it's a Twilight Zone episode. Trump can't erase black history. Okay? Just don't believe that. It's okay. It's almost as ridiculous, and I almost feel like it may be far worse than the rumor they were telling us in 2016. And this really happened, Eric. So I'm saying this to you. This really happened. A former colleague of mine was talking to his then 16-year-old daughter, who looked at him and said, "Daddy, I heard Trump is going to bring back slavery." Sorry. I couldn't help myself. I howled laughing. And he was telling that like a serious story. And I went, "What did you say to her?" I said, "Well, I had to sit her down." I'm like, "No, you didn't. It wasn't a serious conversation. You treated it like it was a serious conversation." Well, she was concerned. Okay, there's no truth to that, Eric, okay? With all, you can trust me. I'm certain of it. Unless you're hypnotized right now, okay? I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at you. I'm laughing at the article. I love you, bro. I love you. And it's always been great meeting you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If they could do that, I know some people who would love them to be able to erase some traffic. That'd be a trick. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Tom O'Hanlon.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. Yet another problem for your ride home. In Hartford, a crash on 84 westbound between exits 47 and 46. It is taking out the left lane. Still working on two problems on 91 on the southbound side in Hartford, exit 33 to 32. They pushed a crash off onto the right shoulder. On the northbound side of 91 between exits 34 and 35, the left shoulder has a crash that they moved over to the side. And 291 busy, feeding both ways into 91. We're looking at Route 2, still pretty steady traffic up into 84. Route 3 has stop and go, but it's moving. And also looking at New Haven, 91 southbound. We're pretty good if you're working your way down there. Traffic and weather together on the 8s. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy and humid the rest of this afternoon. The passing shower, high near 75. Tonight, cloudy, some rain on occasion, low 63. Variable cloudiness and humid tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Overall, the rain is beneficial, but any storm can produce gusty winds. High 73. Warmer weather on Friday, a mix of clouds and sun. Can't rule out a shower, high 80. Pleasant Saturday, a mix of clouds and sun, high 79. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote renter's insurance at progressive.com.
ProHealth Physicians has proudly been keeping Connecticut healthy for nearly 25 years. ProHealth accepts Husky Medicaid, Medicare, TRICARE, and most major insurances. For trusted local care for your whole family, call 1-855-CT-MD-411 or visit ProHealthMD.com. Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6
Craig,
p.m.
you were 100%
Tumalo
right.
Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let me tell you about this new pretzel cheddar club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
So it looks like it is definitely going to happen. Lurch, ladies and gentlemen. Lurch himself, former FBI Director James Comey, looks like he is headed for the Hooskow. Okay, at least he'll be indicted. According to reports, everyone's saying that there's been a months-long investigation into whether or not former FBI Director James Comey has lied to Congress. Virginia has anticipated in coming days that this is going to happen. A grand jury in Virginia has anticipated it's going to happen in the coming days. This, of course, has been following a lengthy investigation and recent appointment of the new U.S. attorney, who is reportedly pushing for the indictment despite previous findings of insufficient evidence. But regardless of that story, we know that there is sufficient evidence because they got what can only be described as James Comey's handler or leaker to corroborate information that indeed he was doing that. And that was always the plan anyway, that the whole deep state, James Comey, Clapper, Brennan, that was the whole deal. And then lying to Congress that they didn't do anything of the sort is obviously going to backfire. Whether or not he'll actually serve or be found guilty in Virginia remains to be seen. Virginia, or at least where these cases are held, is Northern Virginia. And usually the jury pool is very liberal. And because I live there, I know very much so. If you ever look at that electoral, it is incredible, the amount of blue that's up there. And it's the reason why it's very difficult. Glenn Youngkin had to win at least 48% of the vote in Loudoun County. He lost Loudoun County, but he needed at least 45% in order to win that governor's race, as will be the same for Winsome Sears as she goes against Spamberger. So we'll see. And I think Winsome Sears has some wind at her back on that. I don't think Virginia wants to go in the opposite direction. Winsome Sears is she's a powerhouse. And this Spamberger character has not been very good at articulating her stance on men in women's sports. And that could hurt her. She's really going to have to nail it in Fairfax, Loudoun, and Arlington counties in order to, well, not Arlington and kind of Fairfax anyway, but she's got to really nail it in that area. But Winsome Sears, if she could get 45 to 48% in those very liberal areas, it's a wrap, without a doubt. Comey's fired daughter is suing to get her job back. Yes, I did hear about that as well. And on tomorrow's program, because we really didn't get an opportunity to talk about it, let me play the clip. Because it kind of goes into this school thing, but because that kind of went off the rails, I really didn't get a chance to go into it. Listen to this piece of audio about about schools, I apologize, school children in the country. These are high school students throughout the country, if you haven't heard this before.
Very different messages being sent to young people across the country. 3 weeks ago, the journal Education Next released a national survey of high school students asking what messages they have heard from teachers over the last 4 years. Stunningly, 70% of high school students report that their teachers say that, quote, America is a fundamentally racist nation, end quote. With nearly 40% of students say they hear that message often or almost daily. What happens to a nation when its schools express to its students such disdain and selective memory of its own country? My colleague, Catherine Burbelsing, who runs the Michaela Community School, sums it up well when she says, the West won't fall in Parliament, it will fall in the classroom.
He's 100% right, and that's why what's going on in Newtown and in plenty other jurisdictions are so important to push back on. It's a behavioral therapist one day, and then it's the entire school board the next. And if you need a clear example, you know, we talked about that town, and I always forget it's like some weird name, Hamstrack or whatever, in the Midwest, where the entire community board, the city board, is Muslim. And the first thing they did was, and the community, again, trying to be diverse, trying to be supportive of minorities, the first group to be attacked was the LGBTQ community, the community that secured their elections. And they removed pride flags from every state building or every city building. And they woke up going, what? This is what we're talking about. And that's what's happening in Newtown. A lot of people don't think that they should get involved because they're going to wake up one day and they're going to say, whoa, what happened? What do you mean? My kids have to learn this. What do you mean my kid got expelled for what? What happened? I wasn't paying attention. Oh, you didn't hear? Oh, your kid's not allowed to wear the American flag in the classroom. Oh, your kid's not allowed to talk about politics unless we deem it okay. Oh, your kid was expelled because they got into an argument with a black kid. And we're calling that racist now. I'm spitballing. Yeah, thank you, Greg. I mean, I can't, was it Hamstrack? Hamster rack? Hamster rack? I don't know what it's called. I'm making fun of it on purpose. Yes, that's the one. That's exactly the one, Craig. Yeah, but again, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to find out, like, what happened to my town? This isn't my beautiful house. Letting the days go by. I always think about that. Every time I hear that, I was like, yeah, man. It's kind of, it's not the same thing, but you get my point. Let's get our daily dose of what can only be described as protecting the license. Let's talk to White Mike, who's calling from Florida. Hello, sir.
Oh, man. So I've gone through a lot of things to talk about. I guess we can talk about Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, what'd you think?
What a mealy-mouthed worm piece of garbage he is. All he had to do was say, in my haste, I attempted to pin the blame on the side with which I don't agree. I was wrong, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He didn't do that, right? Matter of fact, he said, I never pointed a finger at one side.
That was interesting.
He 100% did. Mm-hmm. But now, I'm not a Christian. Okay, I've told you that before.
I know.
I walk my own path. I don't believe in any spiritual mumbo jumbo. But the thing that hacks me off about what's been done to Christianity, and Charlie and Erica Kirk were examples of it, is this weak, soft, ready to forgive Christianity. They all lean to the Jesus that said, turn the other cheek and all that shit. But what they don't ever talk about is when Jesus said, if you do not have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one.
Now, there's, I got this.
Christians used to kill people.
I know, and I knew you were going to.
That's what they did.
I knew that was the right. You were going to go on this. By the way, if I can say this real quick, the one thing that I respect about you on this whole thing about you walking your own path and all that stuff, and this is my biggest problem with atheists, is that atheists spend so much time trying to disprove God. It's almost as if they're saying that God exists. You know what I mean? It's like you've never done that from the time I've known you. You're like, look, I walk my own path, but you know what? You be Christians and you're fine. You're never ever trying to dispel anybody.
Well, it's because every time I ask them to prove it, they can't, so it's a fool's errand.
Okay, we're not getting into that. There's another discussion here.
Okay.
But you made a good point, because I was talking about this immediately afterwards. I got this text message from somebody on Facebook, and he was saying very much like you were, was that, look, I get the whole forgiveness thing. I understand it. However, that is being taken advantage of by your enemies, that there is a degree. And he's 100% right. Like I said, I didn't take it as hate, and I don't take your commentary as hate, because I made this argument. I have. I've made the argument over and over again. Why does the gay rights community go to the Christian or Catholic church but never go to the mosque? You know what I mean? It's always the same case. They're going to the people who they know, who have, without a doubt, have chosen the path of grace.
Well, we went through the same thing with Austin Metcalf's father. Remember
That's
that
correct.
idiot? Like the next day,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, I forgive Caramello for killing my boy." Well, what kind of wuss are you? And honestly, if I was Charlie Kirk and my wife, a week after I got shot in the throat, went up and said, "I forgive him,"
Don't say anything.
Like,
Don't be
I
nice.
want you to have my back a little bit. Why don't you get up there and pound your fist and say, "I want that guy to die."
But hold on.
Nobody be mad at you for doing that.
No, and no one. You're absolutely right. First of all, I don't know if you missed my monologue about that, but I said that. I asked the question on the show. It's like, her forgiveness was about her. I know a lot of us are internalizing it and going, why would she do that? But that's hers to give. So I leave it to her. If that's the choice that she made, I'm not going to criticize her about it. I just know what I wouldn't do. And I know how long it took me to forgive. So it's one of those questions where we sort of have to be reflective. Like, we have to actually look at ourselves. Could I do what Erica Kirk did? Probably not. And I understand that she found a way to do that, but I get where you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm surmising what you're saying here, is that in her forgiveness, she is allowing or giving permission to others to lay down their sword or to lay down their arms, and then for them to be victimized as well. Because if they're applauding her for saying that, they think that we're all soft. Yes?
Well, yeah, of course. And, Christianity, unfortunately, of the three Abrahamic religions, is probably seen as the weakest right now.
Right.
Everybody knows the Muslims will get retribution, and we all know what the Hebrews are doing. They're not exactly peaceful people at all. But the Christians lay down.
But do you think? I said this a long time ago, that even like I told once the alt left started doing all of its criminality in order to not just win elections but to bully people, I said that they're going to give rise to what everybody else is considered an alt right. But I said it isn't the alt right. People were going to start fighting back, and they have. Brought us Donald Trump. However, this thing about the Christianity thing, where you're coming from, I gotta say, honest to goodness, I respect it, because that's the place where I'm torn. Because I'm saying you have to kind of put a line in the sand. And I don't really think that's being done. Maybe it wasn't done by Erica Kirk, but I don't believe that we should turn our backs on these folks. The same thing I'm talking about with Newtown is that these people see that acquiesce as an entry point to hurt and destroy us. They don't care if we turn the other cheek. Their objective is to destroy us, be it physically, be it morally, whatever the case is. Their objective is to win by any means necessary.
Of course. And if you ever get bored, just do a quick Google search on how many churches have been destroyed in Canada over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
There's been a rash of church burnings in Canada, and it's coming from, of course, the Arabs that they've brought in. We all saw Notre Dame burn, and that wasn't an accident. We know that churches are turned into mosques all across Europe at a shocking pace.
Here in the United States.
The only place that The only place that church growth has been a thing in the last decade has been Russia. Go figure.
Wow. Thank you, Mike, as always.
Yes, sir.
It's always interesting. Yeah, again, that this is, and it's crazy because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a form of terrorism growing in all facets of the left. And, again, it's a tough place to be when you're trying to get people to just follow their path, but you know that people are going to be, they don't care. And for them, they will take that kindness or your grace as a form of weakness because there is a wickedness in a lot of them. Some you can have a conversation with. Some you can. I'm not saying that you look, you blanket everybody in, but you got to recognize the threat for the threat. It's just one of those things. You're trying to live in peace, but you got to recognize that some people don't want you to. Some people wish to rule. You got to recognize who those people are. Wendy, I'll give you a call after the show. It's time for us to get up out of here. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC and Charlie in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here next time at 2 p.m., this time on time. Let's get to Tom O'Hanlon. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, folks.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon from the BPS Lawyers Traffic Center. We've been keeping an eye on you.
All right, sir.
All right. We'll keep an eye on this nonsense.
Yeah, reboot your thing since they rebooted theirs, too.
Okay.
Maybe that'll take the
you got
the
it.
echo away. All right.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Broke down, it looks like, in the northbound HO.
All right, everybody. Oh, thank you, Wendy. I appreciate you. I'll give you a holler real quick. Thank you. It was barely 4 hours, like 3.5, Lori. Thank you, Michael A., as always. And yeah, it's actually yeah, it's a crazy day we're in. It's crazy. It's crazy. What do you do? All right, you guys be good to each other. Wendy, stand by for my call. Thanks, Richard. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while, Richard. How are you? We'll talk soon, folks.